First off, my favorite team. I can't afford those tickets. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I can't afford them.
I was using you as an example.
If my favorite team was the team in which I lived in their city,
your favorite team is Tampa Bay.
No, right? I am not a bandwagoner. I wish Tom Brady all the luck, but I'm a Patriots fan, and I accept that the next few years we're gonna be like the fucking Cowboys. I get it, but hey, we still have the greatest coach ever, and that's all that fucking matters. But no, if I was a fan of the Ravens, obviously we live in Baltimore.
Will Belichick shows up in Tampa.
When Will Belichick shows up in Tampa, I'm jumping ship. I'm gonna be honest.
Your description of your new job just made it sound like that's what you do.
Sex is easy, bro. Sex is dumb easy. You just bend over and take.
COVID hasn't got you down yet?
I couldn't give a fuck about COVID. I drink.
It doesn't have you down yet? It doesn't give you anxiety. What?
Look, man,
What?
I'll tell you what, man. Like, the second I don't have to, and when I say have to, I mean in order for me to get into an establishment, I have to wear a mask.
You have to wear everywhere you go.
As soon as I don't see those signs anymore, I'm ripping the fucking thing off.
Me too.
I'm sorry. Call it what it is. Comment whatever the fuck you. You're an idiot. Like, you're just a fucking idiot. You think you gotta? Especially like the people that wear them either when they're just walking outside in the fucking like nature, or they're in their own cars with their windows rolled up.
Right.
I mean, you gonna give yourself fucking coronavirus?
But don't you think that that's something with them, like helping them cope with all this news that they're seeing and all this stuff?
I don't care what they got to cope with. Go get on a boat and go somewhere. Like, go get to your.
But where are they going to go?
Their own little COVID.
Quarantine themselves away from the population.
Their own little paranoid COVID.
So are you in the sense of like, so do you not want to spread it, or are you just annoyed by the people who are taking it too seriously?
I'm not 100% sure that there's even anything to spread. Just being honest.
You might get us kicked off YouTube talking like that.
So
I'm going to post it, though. I'm going to post it.
We probably will get kicked off, because why? Why would we get kicked off? Because
they kick people off
because that's not the narrative. Fuck off. I hate it. And then there's people, you're going to trigger my anxiety. You're going to trigger my trigger, bitch. Like,
oh, Jimmy jumped on it. Well, you know.
Other than dealing with these, I'm sorry.
Have you had anyone? Have you had anybody like tell you to put your mask on when you're like walking up? Do you put your mask on in the car and then walk up, or do you like
I do it,
wait until you get there and then you put it on?
I do it as soon as I enter the fucking
facility.
Like,
where if they can kick you out, I'm gonna where you have to do it.
I'll swing the door open. It's still hanging off one ear. Because I'll put it on one ear and I'll swing the door open before I walk in. I'll put the fucking.
But where do you think? Because where do you think there should be a line? Because obviously,
I'm not gonna challenge. I'm not gonna be that guy. That's like, I'm going to test it and not wear it until somebody says something.
Right.
I'm not going to be that guy.
But you're being...
I'll do it because I know that those are the rules, right?
Right.
I'll do it.
Right. But you're at least being reasonable. You're meeting them in the middle with it. You're I don't like it.
Second Larry Hogan's fat ass comes out there and goes, you don't have to wear it anymore. Fuck, I'm burning it.
Right.
I have no reason to wear it.
Right.
As soon as it's not required by law, because you're still going to have those people that are going to be like, well, no, I wouldn't. It's still not safe. You still got to wear a mask. Eat my shit.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on that. I don't know about you, but that's where I'm at. That's just my opinion.
I guess they're like, I'm going to go around this fucking guy. So he starts going around me, hits my fucking mirror. And I'm like, well, he's going to stop. I had never been more wrong in my fucking life.
He didn't stop.
It was almost as if he was like, fuck that nigga's mirror. And he just kept going. And I'm like, hold up. But there's cars up there. He can't get through those cars. Again, I've never been more wrong in my fucking life. I was like, how these fucking cars get between all those cars? And I was like, you're not going to stop? Well, I'm going to go, nigga. So I started chasing the motherfucker in my car. And like, I guess he realizes I'm fucking following him. And he's just like, he doesn't want to be caught. So he's fucking dipping through fucking streets, and I'm like, I'm following them, and I almost crashed at one point, hitting this really tight turn. But we get to Hanover Street.
Bob was seeing red.
Before the bridge. Yes,
He took your mirror and he kept going.
We're gonna get to that. But yes, I am blood is all I see. I want this person dead. Like, so we're driving, and I'm like, I can't fucking get his fucking tag or whatever. Like, I'm trying to take a picture of it. I'm trying to drive at like probably 80 miles an hour on a fucking 25 mile an hour street. So I'm like, I'm about to do some GTA shit. So his car's here on the right. I pull it to the left of it. I fucking tap his shit. I try to tap his shit. His back to like get it out. I tried to do this shit, but I guess he was used to that GTA shit, and he stopped just before I hit him. So my shit was like, skirt, and my shit hit the guardrail like boom, and my shit, I was like, fuck, and they just drove off, and I was like, motherfucker. So I get out the car.
He beat him.
I get out the car, and I'm like, ain't this some shit? And like, I see like fluid and shit. I see my car crumpled into the guardrail. At this time, I don't know what.
Literally
but I've been
crumpled.
like, let me get the fuck out of the car because I see the fluid. Call the cops. Cops eventually show up. Didn't take them too long because the police station's right down the street. But yeah, we're going through all this shit. Hold on, we're gonna get to that shit. We're going through all this shit. And I'm like, I wasn't drinking. Of course I didn't tell him everything that just fucking happened.
Right.
I was like, yeah, somebody hit me. And whatever. I didn't tell him everything.
You were officer. You were watching police. You saw the police do that on cops. Here's Bob Hollywood's going to attempt a pit maneuver.
He saw that shit on cops too. He was like, not today, nigga.
That guy was smart enough. That's brilliant, man.
So we're sitting there talking.
All you had to do was hit your. I didn't know that.
Apparently.
I want to know
Apparently.
that. I would have tried to do the same thing.
Let me see the cops pulling the pit maneuver, bitch.
So now you know. He actually helped you out.
But while we're there, while I'm talking to the officer, this car comes up, like a different car, and like these people get out the car, and I'm at my car. The officer's at his car is like a few. I can't hear what they're saying necessarily. And then they get in their car and they leave, and the officer's like, "You sure you weren't drinking?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was working all night. Of course I wasn't drinking." And he's like, "Well, they just told me such and such." And I was like, "I don't even know who the fuck they were. Like, nobody was here. So I'm assuming that was the niggas that pulled that reverse pit maneuver, hopped in a different car, and they were like, yeah, this nigga was wildin', like,
or maybe it's somebody that saw it.
Well, if you had seen the whole thing,
so
the officer probably would have said something completely different.
So
like, oh, you want to be a cop, nigga? Well, you going to jail today.
I trust her. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest part of friendship. Trust.
It's like you say my balls were too big like the first year, but in the end, your pussy was too fat in the second year.
Oh my God!
Hold up!
Oh my God!
Whilst I do not have a pussy, that sounds like a compliment. Like, who doesn't like a fat pussy? Like, I don't want it to be, oh, your pussy. If she would have said your pussy was too thin, I'd have been like, fuck, man, you fucking cutting deep. I will say it. Yes, she told the truth. It was probably 15 fucking minutes, but it's because she would give me a shot, and I'm thinking that she's taking a shot too. Right. And it was like maybe 3 shots later that she's like, I don't really want this shot. Why don't you have my shot too? That she poured, mind you. And I'm like, well, why is your shot is halfway and mine's full? And she's like, I just changed my mind on this one. So I take the shots, and I'm like, okay, it's 2 shots. I'm not going to let them get wasted. But then she's like, do you want another one? And I think at that point, I was too far gone to be like, no, I don't want any more. Please, no more, sir. I was like, yeah, give me another shot. And she just kept giving them to me. So you're talking about that first year you woke up in the field? That second year, I'm out in the fucking field. I don't even know how I got there. I do not remember leaving out that house.
I was there for you. I watched you. I took care of you. You just was flopping around, and I couldn't hold you.
He was flopping around. I couldn't hold.
I did everything.
You're a
I
big
could.
boy, Bob.
No, but
Boy.
No. Before you can say anything else, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this with you. No.
Oh, Dreamer, it's all right. Dreamer. Dreamer, though. Are you
Let
serious?
her leave. Let her leave.
Is she serious?
This pussy was too fat and juicy for her. Let her leave.
Damn.
All I'm saying is, I don't know if she.
Dream
No,
on.
fuck her. Let her leave.
No, that's ridiculous.
Well, I know we're here. I don't know if Jimbo's here though.
He's
Jimbo, are you here? Where did you go, man? Jimmy? Jimbo?
Right here.
Jimbro? Are you there, Jimbro?
Yep.
How's everybody doing? Is everybody doing all right? Is everybody doing good?
Doing good.
I'm Jordane.
a little bit of a late start tonight.
A little bit of a late start tonight, but hey, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
That's what they say.
That's exactly what they say. And but Jimmy, you're
Although
didn't we plan on doing a show today or not?
although professionally, like don't
better.
say better late and never to like if you
Some people.
have a job, you need to be there at a specific time. You know?
If you tell me better late than never,
At
it's
least you're
always going to
here.
be better late because I'll be here. But fuck. But
Jimmy's one.
But at least he's here.
Jimmy can vouch for that because this mofo can't arrive to a job on time to save his life.
Any of his jobs?
No.
Any of your jobs, Jimmy?
you don't want to know what happened was I got spoiled when I worked at a particular retail establishment because it was almost like a rib at that point where all my managers, my fellow managers, peers, and stuff like that, they knew they were like, I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. Somebody else that wasn't smartened up would be like, it's like 8:30. Like, where's Jimmy at? And then the managers that did know, they'd be like, wait, what time is it? 8:30? He'll be here at like 9.
Right.
And they let me get away with it. They didn't give a shit. And it was like, all right, you give me that sort of an inch, I'm going to run like 10
I'm
miles
gonna take a
with it.
mile. I'm gonna 10 miles.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't know about 10 miles.
and I just would show up whenever the fuck I got there, and I never got in trouble for it. And it's not that. It's just like I have a horrible sense of
Time.
not that this is what the
Or time
podcast is
management,
about,
is
but
it?
since we started,
No, we're
time
talking.
management. Time management is my thing. Like, I don't do it on purpose.
Right.
I tend to overbook myself, so to speak. I tend to I get too many things going on at one time and I think I can juggle it. I think I can do it. And then it's just like,
And you have like the best of intentions.
I have the best. Yes, it's all in there.
But then
I
you
fuck
end up
myself
being
over.
Like, oh
And
my
I've-
God, why can't I just say no to people because now I'm doing this and
That's the thing.
Because like majority of the time, whenever you show up to the shred shed and you're running late, it's usually because you had to give
Help
so-and-so
somebody
a
else
ride,
out, yeah.
You had to go and pick
And
up
I feel
so-and-so's
guilty if
cat
I say no.
food.
I feel guilty. You know, I feel like
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to not help if I can,
but
but
those are valid-
technically I can't.
Those are valid people to help. They are,
Right.
I mean, because you kind of, and that's why I don't get frustrated with you because it's like the people that you're helping, you should be helping.
I should be helping because they help me.
Yeah, yeah.
And we
it's a
all help
different
each
tag.
other.
Of course, exactly.
But I never want to hold anybody up. I don't want to like, oh fuck, Jimmy's late again. Jimmy's, oh my God, you know. I don't want that reputation.
Right.
But I already know I have it.
That is your.
I already know I have it.
This is Jimmy.
But then again,
This is
here's
Jimmy.
here's the flip side of that. The timeout though,
Good. I'm glad the
because
sound's good, guys.
here's
They
the
said sound
thing.
was bad, but it's better now.
Are we good now?
We're good now.
Here's the thing though. The few times I am on time, everyone else is late.
Yeah.
Everyone else is late. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go pick up Bob,
Right.
right? Bob's always hounding me, like, where you? Oh, you said you were going to be here an hour, blah, 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 blah. All right. But then when I am on time, Bob either isn't there, not ready, I have to wait, or take it to the shred shed. I'll be like, I'm always late. But then the few times I am there, you're running late, or something happens, or whatever the case
Even
is.
today it worked out well because we were all running. We were
Right,
all running
right.
late. And I felt bad because Leland, he has school in the morning, so we had the kid working out a lot later than normal. But
He's doing more than I'm sure most of his classmates are.
he's doing a
So
lot, man. He's
Yeah.
coming along. The dedication.
he's tired
sticking
for a
with
reason.
it. Right.
See, you know what I
right,
mean?
Exactly.
So that's
he's going to be able to get some rest.
Yeah, yeah. But I just thought it was funny because I'm like, man, the few times I am on time, everyone else is late. Like, I don't understand how that works. But it's just one of those things, man. I don't do it on purpose. I'm not like an asshole where I'm like, oh, fuck them. I'll show up whenever I want to show up. I've never been that way.
Yeah, you're not that type of guy.
I
This guy, he's a little bit of a drama queen. Let's be honest.
He's definitely a bit of a drama
definitely,
queen.
He's definitely a bit of a. He's the star. Like he,
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
knows he's the show doesn't start.
I don't.
The show doesn't
think
start
that
until
way.
Jimmy arrives. That's what he.
I
thinks.
do
That's what
not-
He knows.
Jimmy.
I don't think
the
that.
party doesn't
Nope.
start until Jimbo shows up. Till Sinndred
Isn't that
is
isn't
there.
that a song like the party don't stop till I walk in? Stop, make that's Kesha. Yo, Kesha used to be
I
my
always
shit
thought
back
that
in the
name
day.
was Keisha.
Kesha,
Yeah, because I saw the name. Kesha.
What the fuck ever happened to her, dude? That used to be my shit back in the day, man.
Wasn't she the one?
What did she say? Like, woke up in the morning with a bottle of Jack or something. Is that how? Yeah, that was
wasn't she the one that was?
She got it.
Some sort of like thing with her like producer where like
she
accused them of like, this, that, and the other thing. Me Too. Yeah,
right.
We know what that is.
Well, I think that like it's because
I don't know what that
now,
is.
Right? Like people understand like what Me Too means. I mean, it's in the vernacular, right?
At this point,
but she was canceled herself.
Part of our fucking culture.
All of her rights and stuff like that.
Can't get away with nothing these days.
Jimmy, I'm
sorry,
motherfucker.
He's a little sauced. He's a little sauced.
Why can't you get that way all the time? Though? That's how you need to be.
No, you. It's fucking.
Oh, well, but when Bob does it, you don't say anything.
He does. No, he
get
does.
that way.
I've gotten a few people writing me about the Dragon Ball Z argument that you guys have had, and I still have to clip it. So be patient for that, guys. If not, go back to the Wrestling with Dragon Balls episode, and you guys will see Rick and Bob go after each other, arguing. What was it, Vegeta and Goku, or was it?
Yeah, Vegeta versus Goku.
Yeah. But all right, but go ahead and finish your point. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
But eventually I get trailed off and I'll forget what I'm fucking talking about. But apparently Kesha, like the rights for her music and that kind of thing was all tied up with this guy. So that's why you haven't really heard anything from her in a long time. Right. Because she can't. I don't know if it's her branding or what exactly it is. I'm not an expert on Kesha. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I don't run her Wikipedia or anything. But yeah, that's what I've basically read about her. And I like her music too. It's good music,
I liked her. She was good.
I compare her to Katy Perry because they came up around the same time.
Yeah, but she was always more of a partier type than Katy Perry. Like Katy Perry was like, I like Katy Perry, but Kesha had that party shit going on.
I don't have a song in my head right now, but I like Katy Perry. I like some.
Baby, you're a firework. Yeah, because you hear it walking through Walmart all the time. You're in Target and this shit just comes on. But back in the day, her first album was my shit. You know what I mean?
Perry's?
Yeah, dude. When she's like, I kissed a girl, and I like that shit. I love that shit, man.
Huge.
Yeah, like that was I used to love it. Her first album. It was so cool because here's the thing, like a lot of people don't know about her. She writes all her own shit.
Really?
All of it. She doesn't have all these co-writers like a lot of pop singers and shit.
I sure didn't know that.
At least, hang on though, wait a minute. I don't want to misspeak. When she started out, I don't know about today, but I know when she started out, her first few albums, like she writes everything herself. And the way she came up wasn't the traditional pop star method. Like she literally had to bust her ass, and like she was homeless.
Like conservatives, like religious, not like.
I think her parents had something like that going on. But yeah, she definitely like broke out and was like took a chance on herself.
At some point, we're gonna have to do some research on Kesha and Katy Perry so we can speak a little bit more educational, intelligently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like an expert on her, but I mean, I did watch her movie that she came out with a few years ago.
Let's put a pin in this subject and come back to it at a later time when we do educate ourselves and. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is
we are now a Kesha podcast. That's what we are.
No, make it. Oh, sorry, I am a little sauced up.
I am curious.
I had a little.
Her parents are her dad or one of them. Her parents, I guess both of them were Pentecostal pastors.
I don't
know
what
Pentecostal
that means.
is, but I guess
something to do with Jesus.
Like one of the more, like they're probably.
I don't know.
From what I
some
see,
kind of Jesus
like just
shit.
Walking by like Pentecostal churches and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're on the more liberal side of Christianity. Like they're the ones that are like, we love gay people. Gay people are welcome here. Let's bring them in.
Open
not in my world, they're not.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I might be wrong about that. So don't quote me. Like I know there's all kinds of different like Christian like. I don't want to say sex, but
there's so many offshoots, right?
Yeah.
There's different offshoots.
Yeah, I'm not like a.
There's so many reboots of it, Just one of those.
With that candle, please.
Yeah, no. I'm
fucking like Spider-Man with this fucking.
No. I'm like making
Spider-Man 3 times in fucking 10 years. Christians need to get it together. Yeah. Sorry, they reboot Jesus.
It's not just Christians. There's a lot of different offshoots of a bunch of different
Jesus himself, he fucking like, who's going to cast? Who's going to play Jesus this time? Like, same thing with like.
So just some guy with a beard. That's who's going to do it.
Who would you cast as Jesus if we were to make it like a Christian Jesus movie? Like
I would have to say
we're remaking. What was the movie?
Liam Neeson.
What's the Mel Gibson movie?
I'm gonna come back from the rapture.
Like,
I have a very special set of skills. I'm gonna cast Liam Neeson in the role of Jesus. Either Liam Neeson or Patton Oswalt. One of them two.
Patton Oswalt.
Who would you guys cast as Jesus to play in like a new Passion of Christ?
Charles Manson.
Would be people did say that about Charles Manson too.
Well,
All right,
what?
I just fixed my volume, so hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better on my volume. So we will see as we go, as we keep rolling.
I was
we're doing some things a little bit
we're
differently
working,
as far as
yeah.
like settings and stuff like that. We've adjusted like the look of the podcast at the moment.
Yeah.
So just yeah.
No.
You're making people.
Is the chat coming through on there?
You're
The
making
chat
us
comes through on
nervous.
there? Really?
Well, yeah, you
I'm
could
gonna
turn
have to
on the
see.
live YouTube chats on
Especially
the
considering
TV.
your history with candles.
I had
Apparently,
no idea.
Not so
That's
good.
cool.
No, I'm like making the wax even with the rest of the candles, so I'm like gently turning. I am a little sauced up. Like I had a little pregame before
what's
the
sauced
show.
up mean?
So I'm a little tipsy.
Ah,
I was
cow tipping.
I was involuntary. No, I was exposing people to one of my favorite bands, and I was getting a little too into
What
it.
band is
What
that?
band?
The band called Dur and Gray. Dur and Gray.
Spell it.
They're
for everybody.
DIRENGREY. They're from Japan. They're a Japanese metal band, and I was showing some people some of my favorite stuff from them, and they acted like they appreciated it, but I don't know if they were working me or not. Just to
That's
make
just
me
how it
feel
goes.
good.
That's
I don't
just how it
know.
goes.
You never know.
I don't know, but no,
never-
they act like they really like it. But I
Especially-
that's my shit, dude. Like that's what I was doing pre-gaming is what I do when I'm at home with nothing else to do. Like if I'm home for the night, I drink and I watch concerts.
You watch like live, like what's some of
I
your
watched-
favorite concerts?
Other
Other than like the obscure Duran Gray.
like
one, you know?
Duran Gray, Slipknot. Like I like a lot of Slipknot concerts, Cradle of Filth, and Shine Down. I'll go into Shine Down to get a little softer with it, you know.
on the
and I'm gonna
on the
say
Facebook
this.
chats, Shy says, "Good, Jimmy has tied his hair today."
Yeah,
so you
it's-
can play
it's
with
up.
So you can play with the
I
candle.
can play with the candle all I want.
It makes
And
me a
then-
little nervous though.
And then I even start watching things like Mariah Carey live. I do like my girl Mariah. Suck my dick if you don't like her.
Oh, so you just, hold on. Just
What?
I was a little
How
confused
do you
there 'cause
feel?
You said Mariah Carey
I
and
love
live.
Mariah
I thought you
Carey.
were talking about the band live and Mariah Carey.
No. Like Mariah Carey live is what I meant.
likes
Like
her live.
I like watching her live and
I thought you were
shit
what
like
was
that.
Talking about live, done
I have a very weird.
rolling my field.
What?
Coming back again like a rolling
Oh,
thunder
man, I'm-
chasing the wind. That's live.
What song
right?
is
What
that?
are you talking about?
That's
Keep that-
live. That's band live.
Keep singing
Oh, the
it.
band
I can't-
live. I've
I
heard
can't.
that song
Man,
before.
you've heard
yeah,
that,
like
right?
I get it,
It's
but I
coming,
need
but
to
I
hear
don't-
the rhythm. Like
yeah,
I need to.
but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still haven't caught it yet.
Like a rolling thunder chasing the wind.
I know this.
I know the song.
What
dude.
is that song? Does anybody know that song in the
Um,
chats? Anybody?
I think it's called Thunder Rolls. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
that's
That
a
ain't
country
Garth
song.
Brooks,
It's definitely-
motherfucker. Don't you dare talk shit
Yeah,
about my
it's-
boy Garth Brooks.
now, just so that everyone can see how Jimmy's tastes
Oh,
jump
It's everywhere.
from Duran Gray, which is very hard, heavy metal,
But they're very
screeching
melodic,
and
too.
growling, and melodic.
They can be.
melodic, but if
Very-
the untrained ear heard it, they would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, this is
Oh my
devil
God,
music.
what is this?
This
Yeah.
is Japanese devil. I didn't even
my
know they
mom,
had the devil."
my
over
mom
there."
would be like, I didn't know the devil was in Japan too. Like, yeah, that's that.
But then you go to Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey.
And then
In an
another
instant.
polar opposite, because these are all three of these polar opposites, and then you're jumping on, "Oh, I got friends in low
blaming all on
places."
my roots.
Which-
I showed up in. Yeah,
a
that's
good song,
come
though.
on, dude. That's
you can't not like that song. That's some good shit.
God.
That's
I
some
love,
good
dude.
shit.
Nobody
Lightning
can argue
Crashes,
Garth Brooks
that's
is a
what it's
fucking
called.
legend.
Oh, Lightning Crashes.
That's the name of the song.
I still got to hear it though, because I'm not like. It's
But
still not
I
coming.
just love music, man. Like that's my shit. Like we have a lot of similarities in what
Right,
we do,
right.
But you in this universe that we're building, you're the pro wrestler. I'm the fucking musician. Now I do some pro wrestling. You know, I'm in it. I'm in and out. I'm
You're
kind
around
of
the biz.
I'm around. and
Right.
I just kind of get my itch, get my fill.
Right.
But my shit is music. Like I
Right.
was on the couch over there telling. I was like, what you're watching is like my life. Like that environment, that stadium they're in with all those people and the lights and it's the same as wrestling. It's just a different
It's the same thing.
platform,
It's just a different platform.
thing.
Right.
That's
All entertaining.
what it is, man. Like it makes my blood fucking go. You know what I mean? Like,
music too, you know. I like
well,
music.
no, I'm just saying, like being in it,
you
like
have to like music is your just
being in it and like writing
Jimmy's
music.
the only one on this podcast that
I
can
did
like
not
music,
say
apparently.
that.
I can't like.
But I'm
music.
in it.
Ron can't like. Ron's the wrestler.
Oh, it's still good. Okay.
Rick's
I
getting
thought we
hot
lost
for
Rick.
no
No,
reason.
Keep going, Rick.
Ron's the wrestler. I'm the gamer. Jimmy's the musician. That's what we do. That's all we can be.
When you
Those
touch-
But what's
things.
Bob then?
When you touch my shoulders, were
Hollywood?
they bigger than Ron's?
Bob's Hollywood. I don't know.
Bob's Hollywood.
The answer is no to that. But
I'll take Bob's Hollywood.
No. I'm saying like I'm in music, so it's like writing music with my band and like performing it live and going in the
Obviously,
studio.
that means Jimmy's opinion on music matters more than mine. And
Yes,
Ron's.
yes, it does.
That's like when we were talking wrestling last week.
Yeah.
I would have been like, Rick, you've never wrestled before.
Right.
You're not allowed to have an opinion on it because you've never actually wrestled.
Exactly.
Even though he's watched wrestling all his life, like you get it at a certain point. Not how to physically do it, but you've seen it. You get it.
Well, and these days it's just shit with the fucking. I mean, everything's goddamn exposed, anyways. And
Everything,
Half the
yeah.
fucking wrestlers use
Yeah.
fucking carny language and they expose it. And it's just like, it's a free for all for everybody at this point. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's all out there in the open now. But I'm not. No, and
It's
I'm not.
been like that for 30
It's been that
years
way for a
now.
long
It's like-
time.
that's just the way it is.
Yep,
It's
yep.
not like it's like wrestlers are choosing it for it to be that way. It's
I
just,
mean,
that is the way it is. That's
Some
all
of
right.
them,
They
some of
didn't
the
make
wrestlers,
decision,
some of the
really.
wrestlers could shut the hell up sometimes, you know. But it's so normal. Now.
Damn!
It's so normal.
Damn, some of you wrestlers.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's so
Jim
normal
Cornette.
now.
How do you feel, Jim
Oh,
Cornette?
don't start because you're gonna get me going.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? Like
Don't
some
name names,
guys
but
just
you know.
fucking. Some guys just go out and they just say, "Start just fucking." Fuck, what's kayfabe? Fuck it,
well, the
yeah.
difference- the
and they
thing
just
is-
let everybody know every goddamn thing. And it's Ric Flair said it best. When I don't mean to, I'm not trying to stop you, but Ric Flair said it best himself. He's like, I love all these smart marks and quote unquote whatever they are. He was like, they think they know everything because a bunch of guys have went out and started talking and running their mouths. Let me tell you something. Like, you may know everything, but like we haven't told you everything. Like you think you know everything, you know as much as we let you know. And to a degree, that's true.
I'm sure that's.
I mean,
fine
the
for
internet
Ric Flair,
is
but,
what it is,
and
but
I'm sure, like, yes, there's obviously
there's a lot of
something-
shit that people outside of the business don't know about in the business. I can
Hold on,
promise
hold
you
on,
that.
Hold on. I hate. I'm sorry. I don't
Yep,
like
yep.
that
Go ahead.
mentality.
Go ahead.
That it's
What
fucking,
mentality?
The mentality that is fucking like that you just said like people outside.
Oh, that
of the
everybody
business
can
have
know
no-
Cut
everything?
him off. Let him.
No, because like it kind of takes away like someone having an opinion on this thing critically that like me, like Ron just said, I've been watching wrestling all my life, and like there are some people who think I can have a critical opinion of wrestling just because I've never actually.
You just never
I've
did
done
it.
That's not true. Now, I get what he's saying. I'm not saying everybody can have a critical opinion, but what I'm saying is that just because like you've watched wrestling your whole life, like there's a difference. Like if you go to one of your best friends and go, "Hey, something's wrong with my car," and they're not a mechanic,
Yep.
but they think they know what they're talking about because they've been around
know
cars
that.
their whole life and they know a thing or two. It's like, here's my opinion on what you should do. Then you take it to an actual mechanic who has studied it and went to school for it and works in that field. Their opinion will matter or will be more valid than someone else who's not in that. So only point I've ever tried to make with that is that obviously the internet is there. A lot of people know a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's common sense. So you can just use your head if you watched it your whole life. Yeah, I never said one person's like your opinion is not valid or that you can't have a criticism on wrestling. But what I'm saying is that being in the business and outside of the business are obviously two totally different things.
But the thing is,
And I'm not saying that makes you less of a-
thing. Let me say, because critics themselves are they have a profession. Many of them have never actually worked, not just wrestling, but also
We've got
in
movies or music, yeah.
music, movies, TV shows, same thing. And that's the thing about wrestling, which a lot of workers, wrestlers need to come to grips with is. It's show business. Like
it is.
You kind of have to deal with it that way. People aren't going, like you were just saying, like people aren't going to, like nobody is going to believe it's absolutely 100% real ever again because it is not, and people know that. Like, you can't get that back.
Right, but that's not the point that
It is
I'm
the
making.
point.
No, that's not the point that I'm
let
making.
Let me finish.
I don't know what point you're making, but that's not my point.
But
I'm
you
just
were
saying
Make your point after
that
him.
just
but say
because
Oh no. Well, we'll get either one. I just don't want y'all jumping
like
on
Dave
each other.
fucking Meltzer,
because it's a
right?
great conversation.
Like Dave Meltzer, right? Like Dave Meltzer, he's been writing shit for a goddamn ever.
And the thing is about Dave Meltzer, you're breaking him up. His opinion
As an example.
is more valuable in a lot of ways than a lot of people who do wrestle. Like, that's obviously the truth.
Now
Like,
that I don't believe. That is coming at it because you're outside of the fucking business. What are you talking about? Dave, no, that's not true. He gets his information from stooges and people inside of the fucking business that want to suck his fucking dick. So buddy, old Uncle Dave will fucking write about him in a stupid fucking newsletter, and they feel fucking important. Like that's
point.
That's all that is.
So you're saying that those people who are doing that thing in order to get a spot on the Wrestling Observer, they're doing this because Dave Meltzer. They know Dave Meltzer's got an ear. Like if Dave Meltzer knows you, Dave Meltzer can probably go to New Japan or ROH or fucking whoever else and say like, this guy's pretty good, and they'll say, yeah, let me take a look at this guy. Like Dave Meltzer's been
I
around
tell you
for
one
30,
goddamn
40
thing.
years.
Vince McMahon is not waiting by his phone to
been
get a
alone.
text from Dave Meltzer. Oh, pal, that's a good guy. I'll take him, Dave. Like, he ain't doing that.
Are you saying that Dave Meltzer has never had anything to do with WWE or Vince McMahon? Yes, he has. It's obviously true because he's worked for them.
He writes about it in his little newsletter,
You act
and he
like
has
that-
all his little buddies and his stooges.
See,
That is the reality of it. I'm telling you. I'm not saying Dave doesn't know what he's talking about. I never said he's not, like, fuck Dave Meltzer. That's what I'm not saying, but I'm telling you
But
now.
you're saying what you are saying is just being in the ring gives
No.
someone a more valuable opinion than Dave Meltzer, who's been around the business, an important figure in the
To a
business
degree.
for 30 years. I'm sorry.
To a degree, that's what I'm
there are
saying.
fucking
But
bookers-
no.
Hold on, no, let me finish. There are bookers. Gabe Sapolsky has never been a wrestler, as far as I know.
Right.
But he's like one of the most. Paul Heyman has never been a fucking wrestler. But he's.
But Paul is
manager for a long time.
in
He was
the
a
business. He's in it.
So is Dave Meltzer.
No,
Dave
he's
Mel-
not.
Yes,
Dave
he
Meltzer's
is.
not in the wrestling business. He's a fucking journalist. He's just a guy that
How
takes
is he not in the
information.
wrestling business?
I'm not
Because
saying that people
there are
that have
more-
taken bumps in a
there-
ring are more important than people that
What
aren't.
you're saying right now is the same thing as someone saying like a referee is not in the wrestling business.
Oh
Or-
my God, Rick! You don't know anything about the wrestling business. I never said Oh my
Or
goodness!
it's like someone in production or some shit like that. Like
No,
it's
not what I'm
Dave
saying.
Meltzer has been part of the wrestling business for fucking longer than you've been alive.
No,
really.
no.
Literally, he has been.
No.
Like it's fucking.
There's a difference between a journalist who writes about it and a goddamn referee. Referee it might as well be considered as talent. They're a part of the show. They're a part of the deal, and a lot of them have more to do. It depends on what company they work for. Have a lot more to do behind the scenes than
You
just
and
being
I
a
know
fucking
that
ref.
because we've been around the wrestling business for a long time, and my connection is for most part my friends and that kind
Right,
of
right. And I'm not saying your opinion.
Literally
No,
said
but
that.
I'm saying that you have to admit,
you
or you have to
literally
accept the
said
fact that you might think you know more about the wrestling business based off what you've read or heard versus someone who's actually in the wrestling business.
Just being around you and talking about some of the things that are going on in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
I love talking
like,
about
And
wrestling.
the thing is, like, you've been around.
We all love wrestling.
Like, we've all been around people like
And we're very
who
passionate,
have
obviously.
definitely wrestled before.
Yeah.
Who have like, but
This is
obviously,
great. I'm
like
loving this.
people who have been around wrestling, who have wrestled before, that kind of thing. But people would most likely say they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because even though they've been in a ring, they've taken bumps. They may have been in a match. But are you gonna say like because one person took a bump or was in a match one time that they know more than Dave Meltzer?
No. That's not what I said. I'm just saying, I'm not saying a guy that goes to a tryout and does a few drills and takes a bump knows more than Dave Meltzer. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying Dave Meltzer, he's associated with the wrestling business. He is not in the wrestling business.
There's literally no difference.
No, there is a difference.
no difference.
He
I'm sorry.
gets his information from people within that feed him information so he can have shit to write about. He's not walking around backstage. He's not sitting ringside taking notes. He's not. He gets his
He's not
information.
promoting the shows.
He has done that before. I mean, he's been involved in writing and booking and that kind of thing.
What companies was he booking for?
I'm pretty sure he did book for WWE
For
at
WWE?
one time. But I mean that could be wrong. I'm not really sure. I know he's best.
He's done writing for someone.
Yeah, he's done.
Please
writing,
just
and he's worked
I
for
just
WWE. I know
I
that
just
for
want to
sure.
say I am not trying to say that someone in the business
I don't wanna say
has a
one
more valid fucking opinion or whatever than someone outside. All I'm trying to say is that for a lot of people outside of the wrestling business who think they know everything because of what they've heard or what they've read or because of the information that is readily available these days, that they know everything about the wrestling business. I'm just trying to say that, like, the people within, I do think that their opinions or their views or their criticisms are a little more credible
Let me ask you something.
than
Let me
those
ask
who
you
are
one
not
thing.
in the business.
I
Give me a
ask
little
you-
break because I'm going to catch up with everything,
Go ahead.
and then we'll continue. First of all, Amora, thank you for joining us, Amora, one of our.
I
greatest
wish I could make a
supporters.
hot tag right now. Jesus Christ. I'm taking the heat right now.
No, she said no. She said you got overlays. Nice. Thank you to Rick for that one. Rick hooked us up with the overlay, so we spent a good bit of time sitting here with Rick, and Rick did it. And Amora said, "I'll be quiet now because she's in the business as well, so I guess she's taking it that you were saying like wrestlers are talking too much." And then Shai said, "I watched wrestling when I was a kid. I remember the last match I saw Undertaker and Khali, then one match with Triple H. Then after that, I'm seeing Endgames wrestling, so I had to put myself over a little bit in there. And then." And this is one thing Amora said, "Oh my God, a manager and a ref has taken a bump. They are in the business."
Managers and refs are part of talent. Yes, they're in the business.
Okay, now
Yeah,
real
anyone
quick.
that's talented
fuck?
is definitely, the thing is, like, they're definitely bookers and writers and that kind of thing who have
Yes.
never taken a bump. Ever.
Right. And
Like,
then Shai,
and-
real quick, since we're on the subject with Dave Meltzer, Shai wants to know, who are you talking about? Dave who? She doesn't understand.
Okay.
So
Meltzer,
let's give a little bit of
the
context.
Wrestling
just to the
Observer.
so for the conversation, because this is a good...
Let me, because he's getting a
Please?
little...
No, go.
The thing is, like, I'm not like a super big subscriber. I've never read most of Dave Meltzer's stuff. Like, I just know that he's like, as far as critics and journalists within the wrestling business, he's probably the most notorious. I think. Like, he has the most notoriety and that kind of thing. Like, people know. People in the wrestling business know who Dave Meltzer is because he's been writing and reviewing wrestling for
take
literally 30 years, 30, 40 years at the, like, since the 80s. He's been around. I know that. But yeah, he's definitely probably the most well-known like wrestling journalist, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, he is very,
But one thing you were just
Okay.
bringing up like someone like obviously you like. Let's have a conversation for one.
I'm not trying to say I'm more important than, or my opinion is more important.
No, hold
than you.
it.
Don't think that, because
No.
you and I have taken many car rides talking
yeah,
about
but
wrestling.
the thing is, what you're saying is like someone who has been in the wrestling business. Let's say like someone that's like wrestled one match or two matches, or like who has been around for a year. Like this
yeah,
person's
someone
been
was
around-
just in and out, kind of.
Yeah, someone who's been around for a year. Like that's really nothing. Like longevity in the wrestling business, you could be around 20, 30 years, you know, depending on if you're on the high end. Some people
If you're
don't.
healthy enough, yeah.
If you survive, right?
So let's say that person, but versus not necessarily Dave Meltzer, but like, you know, does that person's opinion matter to you more than Dave Meltzer's does? Like,
I will say, if Dave Meltzer, for example, who's been around for like 30 years or so, and some guy that goes in and trains for a fucking year and is like, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I mean? Like, I would say that like whatever I would say, yes, Dave Meltzer is like what Dave knows. I'm not saying Dave Meltzer doesn't know anything about wrestling business. Obviously, look, the guy back in the day, holy fuck, like he was the guy to go to if you wanted to know
your
any
news.
He is the guy still,
subscribe.
like-
But hold on though, these days, Dave Meltzer catches a lot of criticism. For better or worse, right or wrong, I don't know, right? I'm not that much involved with that side of things. He catches a lot of criticism for putting a lot of specific talent over because, and nobody else believes that it should be.
What he's getting criticism for is because he has an opinion and people value.
But a lot of people think he's bought and paid for these days.
No.
That's that's the thing, though.
That's the issue that people say that about wrestling.
But you don't know if that's true or not.
Video games and that kind of thing. no one knows who's bought and paid for. That's the thing. You can't just have that lens that everybody, because they have a different opinion than you, is bought and paid
that's
for.
not what I'm saying.
WWE, like, yes, Dave Meltzer, as far as like I know, just optically, like, he's not like a guy that has like a bunch of like positive opinions of WWE product. But let's be honest, a lot of people right now don't have a super high opinion of WWE's product that they're putting out week after week, because it's been on a downturn for a long time. Let's be honest. And the thing is, like, who are wrestlers like dependent on to make their money, and who are they putting this product out for? Like the people who are consuming it, right? It has to be those people, because that's the way you make your money.
Mm-hmm.
And like the idea that like someone who is with, like, you don't know, tastes change over time, right? The people, but like. And the thing that might be like a bad guy this time might be a different bad guy, like, or a good guy later. Like that changes a lot. Of course.
Right.
Time
Like the Stone
change.
Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, that.
In a traditional era, he would have been a bad guy,
sure.
but leading up into his era, he was a good guy.
Because people wanted that kind of thing, and they still kind of do. I think that's my opinion. But nobody's ever. But they keep trying to. I don't want to go into like my opinions of like what's wrong with WWE or wrestling in general. But like the idea that these people like. That wrestlers have an idea of what's going on in the business better. Like, I would say wrestlers have a better idea of what's going on in business in that moment, right? Like, they have a better idea, like, because they were there when it happened, pretty much.
Right.
But that alone doesn't mean to me that they know better than just so. Like, I'm not gonna say some random guy watching on a Monday is gonna know better than those people. Obviously not, because people who are in like WWE or wrestling or whatever, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it because it's their passion and that kind of thing. Wrestling is a passion of mine. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been something I've been a part of for as far as like as long as I can remember, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's only intensified since I've known like Ron and Larry. Like, me and Larry would go up and down. Like, I would go to the shows like Fusion and that kind of thing, doing the same thing Larry was doing. Except I wasn't working on the show. Like, it's.
Yeah,
I would give Larry,
I remember you because you did the street team and you did a lot of the type of stuff.
Like,
Yep, putting the
it's
ring
not like-
together. So you even seen how to put the ring together and that
I've seen
type
all
of
that
stuff.
kind
Yep.
of stuff. I've booked shows even though I've never really done. I've given Larry ideas. He's taken those ideas and done stuff with them. Like, I've given my ideas to a lot of people, and like I was writing for a bit for a wrestling website I never talked about before. And the thing is, it's like, I do believe my opinion is just as valid as yours. I'm sorry, I do. And Ron's and anybody else's. I'm sorry. Because I've been watching this thing. I know what's good. I know what's not good.
Right.
I think anybody can look, no matter how much of a fan you are, like, if you feel something towards wrestling, you can look at something and say, this is not good, this is bad. Like, or this is good, this is not, that kind of thing. And
Right.
I don't think, like, someone being in the business for a certain amount of time, and seniority doesn't mean shit to me. It never has. But like, because there are people who have been in the wrestling business for 20 years who have been stuck in this one territory. They've never done anything, and they kind of are one of those people that I've seen them. I've seen these people who believe that their opinion holds weight because they've been around for 20 years. But you've been working in this one territory. You don't like this one indie promotion for forever. Like, I don't value that person versus John Cena, who a lot of people give a lot of shit to because he didn't come from wrestling. He came from something else and he became a wrestler because it didn't work out or whatever reason it was. John Cena is the guy. He's been a guy for a long time. Like, and I think that his opinion is more valid because he's been that guy. He's been in those positions.
He's been there.
He's been in like a conversation with Vince McMahon, with all these minds who have been there forever, like Triple H, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tom Pritchard, like, and all these guys. Like, yeah, like, just being in a business, being in there for a long time, that kind of thing. I'm sorry, get out of here with that. Like, the idea that, like, I don't care what you do. I do things for, like, a living that I don't think I know more than someone could come in tomorrow and say, and just change everything. Like, they could be like, this is, like, because the way you're doing it this way is wrong for so long.
Right.
Or, like, there's a new way to do things that's better than this old way. Like, that could happen in wrestling any day. It happens everywhere. And wrestling is no different. People act like wrestling is this fucking, like, self-contained bubble where nothing outside of the wrestling business matters within the wrestling business. It's not the way it is. I'm sorry, it isn't.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so give us a little break. We're going to jump back into the... No. Why would you
don't-
apologize for a rant on a podcast, brother? So Darnell Coolbury said, what up, guys? ROP to Road Warrior Animal. That's some sad news. Mr. Laurinaitis died, what was it, yesterday?
John Laurinaitis?
No,
Or
his brother. His brother,
Okay,
Road Warrior Animal. And then Amora said, I personally feel like if you don't know the basics, then you have no business bad-mouthing the business.
What's the basics? Like, what is, like, is the basics getting in and taking a bump? Or is it, like, knowing that wrestlers go in and take a bump? Like, is that the basics? Like, I know wrestlers go in and they learn how to take a bump and then a flip bump, and they know how to run the ropes, and they know how to take a clothesline, and whatever the basics
Yeah, but that's
are.
different, too.
What
That's
are the basics? What would you say are the basics?
I think
Ron?
they're
Like,
talking about two
what are
different...
the basics?
Amora thinks that you guys are talking about two different things right now. Are you guys talking about two different things? Can we meet in the middle somewhere?
I don't know. I'm out. Like, I can't.
No, you
Like,
can't
I
be out, Jimmy.
I
You
can't.
can't. You still have
No,
no time.
because we're going to be doing this for 2 fucking hours.
I mean, that's the point.
And then,
yeah, but I'm saying the same conversation for 2 hours. Like,
And then
I would
Amora
imagine
said,
you
but do you
guys
know
had more
ring
to
theory?
talk about.
I'm sorry, what was
Do you know ring theory or ring psychology? That's more so probably. I would say ring psychology is probably more important than anything, which is just learning how to get the crowd to like you or not like you. You know, that type of stuff.
Or like
Which the
knowing
basics
how
are
to-
the basics. You can teach anybody the basics.
Those basics are the basics for human behavior. Like,
Right. Human psychology.
Yeah, let's-
like
But I
basic
think,
human
I
psychology.
think when she says basics, what she's talking about are the basics of how to work, like the basics of like chain wrestling, the like basics of like how to work and like how to get your character over, or like how to like the basics, like run a high spot, how to work, how to feel what's going on, like what's the crowd responding to, not responding to, how to just work, like how to be good workers, but that comes with experience. Obviously, it comes with a lot of time, a lot of experience, like learning the basics, how to lock up and how to shoot wrestle, so to speak, how to chain wrestle, how to just work, you know what I mean? Like just your basics. And then like psychology, you learn a lot when you're around a little bit more time. You've had maybe a couple of live shows under your belt, like training is training. We all know that. Like you do your drills, you do your exercises, you do all that stuff. But then getting in front of a live audience, that's really where you learn your psychology, because you're going to fuck up. You're going to not make the right call. You're going to shit the bed. But it's learning that and getting those reps in and kind of bettering it. And then like working up to like always wanting to be around someone better than you, because that person knows more, is more experienced. They've been around.
They'll elevate you.
Get with those people, because you can work up to those people and you can learn a lot from those people, and then you can apply that to yourself. There's a lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of trial and error, when it comes to that stuff. But that all comes with time, and you kind of learn. And some people get it, and some people never get it. Some people just don't understand it. You know what I mean? But I think when it comes to basics,
Well, that's a point I wanna
those are
make.
kind of the basics of like being
we'll get another point from you, and then we're gonna stay on wrestling, but I'm gonna pivot to a little bit of a different subject. So let's just finish up this. So what you got, Rick?
The one thing I want to say, like, how many people we've seen come into the wrestling business who have never been a part of it for a long time, right? Or they're kind of fresh to it. Like, they come in because they want to try something new, right?
Right.
And they take off like crazy compared to people who have been around the wrestling
Forever.
business forever, who are stuck in this one place. Like, and you don't know what this guy might understand something that this guy who has been around forever just doesn't.
It's not necessarily anyone understanding anything. It's just people connect differently to different people.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no explanation other than charisma. And what is charisma? Oh, you
We
could
don't
try to
know.
overanalyze
The
that.
it factor.
Right.
Like,
what is
who
the
knows
it
what that
factor?
is? Like,
Who knows? There's just certain people who people
I think
connect with
there's way
for different
there's
things.
People who just like they appear natural no matter what they're doing. Like you understand. Like there's people on the podcast I won't listen to that because they don't sound natural. They don't sound like they're being themselves. Like I think
Yeah, they
an
sound
important
fake.
part like is just being able to sell something. No matter what it is, like no matter it's yourself, you're selling yourself, so you need to be able to talk in a way where you are the product. You're talking in a way where you believe what you're saying, even though maybe
And
it's
authentic.
not. It's not true necessarily,
Right, right.
Because in wrestling, you have to lie a lot.
You have to seem authentic.
Yeah, you have to seem authentic, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people, like authenticity is probably the most, and to me, the most important factor in someone making it in wrestling. Like, and that's not authenticity is not something I don't think you can really learn. You just either maybe being around someone. Like I've seen the difference. Like in one person, AJ Styles. We talked about him before.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Styles, when he would in TNA, when he would pick up a microphone, sounded like he sounded wooden. He sounded like he didn't believe in it, and he sounded like he was just a guy holding a microphone, reading something on a teleprompter. That's what he sounded like.
Right.
In WWE, night and day. Like he sounds like a guy who believes everything that he's saying, even though there is no difference. Like I honestly, WWE is probably more scripted than he was in TNA, right?
Right.
Like,
but he still comes off different.
He sounds different. He sounds like he understands differently. Like I don't know where it came from, what he learned, but like what is the problem, Jimmy? Come on.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like AJ Styles and TNA. Okay, you got to think about timelines here. You got to think about, all right, when he first had his WWE audition, when he was like, I'm AJ Styles and I'm from Georgia.
Amora said she don't like AJ, and I was just agreeing with her.
AJ's a fucking bigot, fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, okay,
he's a fucking amazing in-ring worker. But like, no, I don't give a fuck. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say. I think he's a fucking idiot. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck him.
But
like,
I'm trying to stay on
just because. But no. I'm not saying that. I'm okay. Oh my God, his ability is so great. All I'm saying is that like he fucking okay, that's fine, good for him. But what I'm saying is that when he was in, so for example, he had his first WWE audition. My name is AJ Styles. I'm from Georgia, and I'm going to be the champion. And it's like, all right, we didn't see nothing in you, bud. Sorry, take a hike. Then he goes to TNA. Obviously, got amazing talent. Obviously, guy knows how to work. The guy can do a lot of shit. Bad at promos, right? And some people are just bad at. Look at my favorite wrestler, Jeff Hardy. The shits at promos. I get just some people just aren't good at promos. Don't give them a mic. Please don't give them a mic. But they're amazing workers, or they can do whatever the fuck. But anyways, but then he had all those years in TNA, honing his craft, getting that experience, doing a whole bunch, working with a whole bunch of different people, right? So you get better with that type of experience. Then he goes over, he does a lot of indies where he was very homophobic and did all that bullshit. Then he goes over to Japan. Right, and he has his whole run over there. That's a whole nother different pie. That's a whole different way of working, different psychology, just a whole different world.
It wasn't his first time going to Japan.
I know it wasn't his very first time going, but when he had an actual stint, a run in Japan, and he had the whole bullet thing and all that stuff, that's when it like elevated him, because it's always been known, okay, you can't make it here, you go over to different places like Japan, you fucking get super over there. A lot of people over here want to have you on their shit. It's like, that's a thing, right? I know I'm speaking very loosely when I say that, but all I'm saying is he went over there, made a whole bunch of money, got stupid popular. Obviously his in-ring work can't be fucking argued with, right? Then WWE wanted him. That's typically how it goes. They don't want you now. You go off, you make a big name for yourself somewhere else. Now they want you all of a sudden, right? Because you're so good, you're so over. Then he comes back to WWE, or he comes to WWE. Now they want him. They pay him a whole bunch of fucking money. Be the phenomenal one. Be AJ Styles. Do your shit. We're going to put Gallows in there and say, well, oh my God, it's going to be so great. But then that's a whole nother animal. Because that's a whole nother animal. You're dealing with a whole bunch of different writers, a whole different group of people. That's not Japan. Sometimes you can't get lightning in a bottle again. You can't have the same people, like, you know what I mean? Like the same people that were in charge of shit, or I don't know how much creative control they had when they were over there. I don't know what the whole deal was, but you can't take that and try to recreate it over here. Right, I guess different people involved.
The thing I want to bring up is AJ Styles in TNA, where he was pretty much the guy in TNA for however long he was there, which was probably like 10 years, really.
A while, yeah.
It was
the
longest time. It was since TNA started, which was 2002, and then
something like that. We were in high school, right?
Yeah.
Or was it? It was like early high school.
It was like right after WCW closed. It was like a year or two after.
2004, 2003, something like that.
I remember the first match I saw AJ Styles in was
Was it from the first TNA show?
It might have been. It was like a round robin kind of
at
thing
the
with
fairgrounds.
AJ, Low-Key.
Yeah, I
and
remember
two
that.
other guys
Yeah.
that were like doing. It was.
I probably have like an
interesting
old
match.
tape
It was actually
because I
pretty
used to
good.
get the weekly pay-per-views. I
Yeah.
I was in. I was
TNA
all
was
in.
good for.
I was
for
all
especially
in,
the
dude.
beginning.
Yeah.
But and then AJ himself, like for a long time, he was pretty much like the same guy. Like he was always like just the workhorse. He would work and have a match. It was a good match. He was always the X Division champion, that kind of thing. He was never like beyond that. He was never the world champion. Never feuded with Jeff Jarrett, who was at the time he was probably the main guy in TNA, but because he owned it. I don't want to say that that's why he did it, but
That's why he was the top guy.
But AJ was for a long time. He was like he the only thing he could do was work. He was like he was a good like do a lot of moves and that kind of thing. And then eventually, like towards the end of his TNA run, he started being put into positions where he would be a character and that kind of thing, versus just a guy that wrestled. I feel like he was that for a long time. And he obviously wasn't very good at it because like he would cut promos and like I said before, he was like sounding not believable in this. Yeah, I'm the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, and that kind of thing. But then he goes to WWE like two years after he leaves TNA, and then he's like the fucking man in WWE because he can cut a promo. And you brought up.
Do you think that was part of his development as a wrestler, as an overall everything?
Cutting a promo is definitely the thing that held him back. Like before that.
But they could have gave him a manager. There's a lot of wrestlers that got over without promos. Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio is like a well-known
But I feel
wrestler
like
that
now
people loved.
especially WWE, they don't rely on managers too much anymore. Like who's the only manager we have right now? Paul Heyman, and that's only because of Brock Lesnar. Other than that, who else is there? Like, and I think that it might be a detriment to WWE, but I don't know because I see where they're coming from because like the idea that you don't have to pay two people for this one guy, to just pay one guy who can do both things. Like right. So it's kind of less money you're spending on in general. And right now you have like the only example I can bring up is MVP with his group right now. MVP is a good promo.
I saw I haven't watched Raw in a long time, so I watched it, and I was glad to see MVP on TV too.
Yeah.
That was great. But they have some interesting stuff going on. Okay. I would love to see it. It's just frustrating not being able to see it in front of a crowd and see how the reaction will be. Like because I feel like it'd be good. It looks like some good stuff. But it's harder to tell.
And there are some guys who just get over on with their promos.
What is it? What's going on, Jimbo?
The chats are all
it's
over
ridiculous.
the fucking
Yeah,
place.
Jill Jones is a little cray cray. You don't take too much of her stuff serious. Not that she's actual cray cray, but she says some silly stuff. Do you guys want to keep going on AJ, or are we going to make our pivot?
I mean, we're done with I'm done with AJ. I mean, the point that I was making is that like AJ's an example of just a guy who has been around forever, who for a long time just didn't seem to get this one thing of the business that would catapult him to like being which he is now, which is one of the best in the world as what he's doing. Even though, yes, he's a piece of shit as far as being a real life human being, but I don't know him like outside of him fucking saying homophobic remarks, which is shitty just on its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just want to make the point that AJ is an example of a guy who learned some things. He's better now, and he's definitely probably now one of the more better minds and that kind of thing in the wrestling business. But like, what did it take for him? That kind of thing.
It took years of experience and working all over the world and becoming part of one of the biggest factions in the world.
AJ could have went to Dave Meltzer and be like, Dave, what do I got to work on?
No, I don't think that. I just think that there are some people, because a lot of people look at Dave Meltzer's opinions and his writing and his Observer newsletters and stuff as being like, all right, if I can get Uncle Dave to say something really good about me, oh my God, a lot of people are really going to like me, and oh my God, like I'm going to be so much more appealing. So I feel like we're talking about opinions here.
But you're saying someone in the business
I'm saying that
someone that works in the business, a wrestler, let me finish. I'm asking you, someone who works in the business believes that giving Dave Meltzer, talking to Dave Meltzer could help their career.
A younger guy in the business who's trying to get over, trying to make it, may feel like that if Dave Meltzer writes about him in a positive way in his newsletter, that will reflect good on him. And that will do him favors, because a lot of people in the mass majority read his stuff, read Dave Meltzer stuff, takes, you know what I mean? Like, they consume his, what he writes, and they, you know what I mean? Like, they invest in it. They get into it. So maybe it's a possibility that sometimes they may be able to sweeten the pot a little bit for old Davey over there. And, hey, can you write good about me? Can you do this? Can you do that? If I do this for you, will you do this for me?
What you're
kind of
saying
a deal.
is Dave Meltzer is like kind of, someone's sliding him like, hey, here's $500.
Is he 100% legitimate? That's at this point now.
The thing about that, what you're asking right now is, I mean, I imagine he probably says that yes, I'm 100% legitimate. Who am I to say?
Obviously, he's not going to come
true?
out and say he's not.
So,
but isn't it?
But that's the thing. That he believes that he's real. He's real. People who believe that he's real. It's the same thing in video games. There are video game journalists who talk about video games like day in and day out for a living, and people say that they're being bought and paid for by some company in order to promote their product. And there is a transparent way of that they are doing that, where they're saying like, this is an advertisement, that kind of thing. And there are transparent ways where a wrestler could go to Dave Meltzer and be like, I want you to promote me. He gives him money, and there's a splash screen on his website for this wrestler or something like that. But Dave Meltzer, I'm sorry.
Do you believe that kind of stuff doesn't really happen, though?
What I just
now I'm saying like where no one knows about it.
What I just described is a business transaction that is completely valid and perfectly legal. It's perfectly fine.
But you were talking about video games.
And yes, that happens.
You don't think that some
games.
people that it's not advertised that way, where they're trying to make you think that they're not being paid.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm saying that it doesn't matter if it happens.
So theoretically, I listen to a lot of Jim Cornette's stuff because he's very controversial, and I like controversial people.
And he knows probably more than any goddamn body
he's
in
a wrestling
the fucking
historian.
business.
Now, he's one of the few that I really love to listen to because he knows his history. But he accuses. Now, this is all accusations.
So does Bruce Pritchard, so does Eric Bischoff, so does every goddamn body in the business says, fuck Dave Meltzer.
So he knows where I'm going. So Jim Cornette, I'm just going to use Jim Cornette because he's an easy one. Jim Cornette accuses Dave Meltzer of fluffing AEW up and having a working relationship with AEW, though he doesn't technically have a working relationship. So he's like giving all of these 4-star, 5 stars, even though people crap on the 5-star, 4-star thing. That's Dave Meltzer's thing.
It's been his thing forever.
That's his thing. So people
Which
recognize
Cornette
that.
helped create, by the way.
Right. I didn't
Just
know
saying.
that.
Yeah,
but what they're thinking is he's trying to put over AEW with his following because he's from the years and years that he spent building up his wrestling fan base or his wrestling journalist fan base. You know,
I don't know if that's true or not. Like,
I don't know either.
Maybe
it's
not.
It just seems like it could be true though, right?
But the thing is, like, who says that Vince McMahon isn't going to Jim Cornette, who we know Jim Cornette has had a favorable relationship with in the past? Who says that Vince McMahon?
I wouldn't say favorable.
Yes.
No,
Jim
I would not
Cornette-
say favorable.
Jim Cornette worked for the company.
Yes, he worked. That doesn't mean Vince loves him.
Hold on.
Like
let me
Vince
finish.
literally, like the reason that Cornette lost his gig when back in the day was because he blew up at fucking Kevin Dunn and called him a buck-eyed beaver tooth, whatever the fuck, and that's always been Vince's right-hand man, and that did not do Cornette, and just, it's just a coincidence, then Cornette was fucking let go of that fucking position.
About the conspiracy thing, which we're focusing on.
Just because somebody works for Vince doesn't mean Vince loves him.
But he was in meeting, he would like go to Vince and
Cornette didn't do himself any favors.
The Montreal screwdriver, where Cornette says, "Do you have a finish?" And Vince is like, "Yeah."
Yes.
Apparently, Cornette says he was in on that whole thing, and it's like.
And that story's been told before.
But my point is, like, who's to say that someone isn't going to Cornette the same way someone you say or could be happening? I'm not saying that you do say that, but you're putting out the idea of it.
Right.
Who's to say that someone isn't going to Cornette to say, I want you to say things about Dave Meltzer so that people don't believe in his stuff so much, or people don't take his opinion so seriously.
I don't know necessarily about
and
like the Dave Meltzer thing,
I know
but
that there are plenty of people in the wrestling business who don't like Dave Meltzer. Jim Cornette, like you said, Eric Bischoff, although people don't like Eric Bischoff either. So
well, a lot of people don't like a lot of people.
Right.
That doesn't
That's
mean
the
that.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
like
another
Bruce
thing.
Pritchard, a lot of people. I mean,
But-
it's a lot of.
But who does like Dave Meltzer? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Been on his podcast. Been on podcast together. Loves him apparently. So it's like.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if Austin loves it. I have no idea.
But
I didn't know.
They've been on podcasts together. They've talked to each
No,
other.
I haven't listened to that. I don't know.
Brian Alvarez, I think is his name.
Yeah, he writes for another
works-
one, doesn't he?
No, he works for Dave Meltzer. He works for the Wrestling Observer.
That's what I'm saying. I thought he
know
wrote
he's
for.
definitely been on podcasts with probably Jericho, probably fucking.
That doesn't mean
Austin.
they like each other though.
But I'm saying, like, why?
It's content. I don't like you, but we're doing. It's like I'm kidding.
But it's the same thing. It's like it. People have an idea of like what these people are and what they do, and then and people have another idea where it's like, yeah, like people in the wrestling business, some of them believe, yeah, Dave Meltzer is paid, but why do I not believe that Jim Cornette is paid off? Because people aren't saying it. Like that's literally what it comes down to. People in the wrestling business believe Dave Meltzer's paid off because he's a journalist, and people look at him as kind of a weaselly and that kind of thing. Because he like gets involved in it and puts all he does is put his opinions out there and people take it for what it is. Like he's just a guy who's been around for a long time, a wrestling fan at the end of the day who has been around for a long time, been writing about wrestling since before we were all born, like literally.
All right, well, all right. Here's my last. No, go ahead.
Amora has a comment, an interesting comment, real quick. She said, so if a girl isn't a gamer but her boyfriend is, and she's going around telling people that their game systems are trash without knowing the details, can you respect her opinion?
That's way different to me, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but like we're talking about people. Like no, if someone, it's what she's saying is pretty much like the same thing as people who say wrestling is fake and they don't know anything about wrestling other than that it's fake, and they kind of take it down a peg. To me, like it's the same thing. Like video games are fake, so why they're a waste of time. That kind of thing.
Right.
People do say that. People say video games are a waste of time, and maybe for you they are. For me, I love them. But so it's kind of the same thing. To me, I'm not to attack Amora or anything or her opinion. I'm just saying like I'm not going to have a conversation with someone who doesn't come in good faith and have like you have an opinion that is informed to a degree, like. And that kind of thing, like
right. And Kazariah Miller said, "Yes, Jimmy, rage."
No rage.
You're just building so many fans with your
rage.
rage, Jimmy. You always have
rage.
the rage.
This is just me and Jimmy having.
This
like,
is Rick.
Rick
is one of my best friends,
Amora
and
said
I
it's
would.
the same thing.
There's no rage. It's just us.
Amora
talking.
said, "No, it's not. It's the same thing."
What is the same thing?
The video game reference.
The reference, yeah.
I mean that's what I said. It's the same thing as someone like someone who doesn't know video games coming in saying video games are a waste of time, and the same thing as someone who doesn't really watch wrestling. You say, "Hey, will you watch wrestling with me? I don't watch that fake stuff." Like why? That's not an opinion. That's not a conversation we're having. It's like me saying, "Let's do this," and then you saying, "I don't like that thing."
Oh, trust me, I can't stand, and I always let those people know. I don't back down from it at all. When people are like, "Oh, that fake shit," I'm like, "Come again." Like, are you calling me fake? I pull a fucking doink. Like, are you calling me fake? Or are you calling you fake?
Yeah.
Like, if I come up to you and say, "Oh, you fake motherfucker," are you kidding me? Do you know what I put my body through? Do you know what I've done? Do you know the risks I've been involved in? Like, do you know how much time and energy goes into this fucking shit?
Let's not
you
forget,
know what I mean?
gave Jimmy a concussion, so.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just
and
saying.
we're good friends.
Yeah.
We're friends. And I
I
gave
mean, I
him
don't
a
want to be
concussion.
too much more.
But I'm just saying, like, that type of shit. It's like you don't know what you're talking about.
We all know.
And I can show you how fake I am. Like, if you want to see how fake I am, I will gladly show you. And you're always like, "Oh, I'm just kidding, man." Oh, I bet you are kidding. You fucking pussy.
So, Amora said, if that female was around her boyfriend for years, and she only knows by association, not by playing herself, that's the same as Dave Meltzer talking about wrestling. Case closed.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Rick, you can have that.
What do you think about that, Rick? How do you feel about that?
Not the same thing. I mean, it just I don't really think that's much of a contentious like thing, because it's like this is a one person who's been around one other person who plays video games. They just maybe watch them on TV or something like that.
Right.
Who versus Dave Meltzer, who's been around the wrestling business. He's been writing about wrestling, booked shows
For a long time.
all that kind of thing for 30, 40 years, like since the 80s, right? Or maybe the 70s. I don't know exactly when he started, but I know it was the 80s at the very least. And I mean, how long has the Wrestling Observer been a thing? Like people would get that, like wrestlers would get that shipped to their homes, that kind of thing. They would be subscribed to it, get at shows, it'd be passed around, that kind of thing. Who cared? Like who does Dave Meltzer like this week, and that kind of thing. Like what matches? Like people, like, and the thing is, I don't mean Dave Meltzer for me in this conversation is just like he's
an example.
Yeah. Like there are plenty of other examples who are out there who have been writing wrestling for a long time as well, and their opinion is just as valid to me as anybody else's. Like, and my main thing is like I've always had a problem because I've been around people. I've been around the business for a long time. I've gone to shows and that kind of thing. I've talked to wrestlers, all that kind of stuff, and it's always like it is a boys' club. It is like we are in. To me, I've always felt like
in group, out group.
Yeah,
we're in the group. You're not in the group.
Yeah, that's why I've always felt. Even though,
but a lot of people do that in every thing. Like football players will be like, "Oh, you don't play football. You don't know. You know that type of stuff."
Even a lot of coaches have never played football and that kind of thing. I mean, people who have booked shows and that kind of thing have never really actually.
They just have to have money.
Yeah,
they book shows. There's some, yeah. You don't have to have any type of experience to book shows.
Like Tony
Trust
Khan
me, I've met plenty. Not even just Tony Khan. You know, plenty of bookers or plenty of promoters who just had some money. Money marks is what some people call them.
They've never actually been like around the business or really done anything.
No, they just want to be. They paid them. They paid their way in. They paid for themselves to get in there, and then it is what it is. Maura said she could book tournaments and still not play rights about games that her boyfriend played. It's not the same thing. She said, "Oh my God, it's not the same thing." Now Amora's arguing against. Amora is on your side, Jimbo.
All I gotta say is, do not piss Amora off. She is our Chicago deep dish pizza correspondent, and we need that connection.
That is a great connection, by the way.
So
that is the best connection.
Like, to make a comparison with Meltzer and another business, like Alan Sepinwall is like one of the most respected TV and movie critics out there, but he's never actually made a TV show or a movie. So it's like, and people take his opinion very seriously. He's one of the top-rated like critics and that kind of thing, and like he's gotten in a feud with actual show creators because he doesn't give them a good review.
Right, like Roger and Ebert, they had the same thing.
Same thing.
Because I'll hear like a lot of like directors on.
And there's a lot of people who will be like, you just don't get it and that kind of thing. It's kind of like you just don't get what we're doing, and I'm like, come on now, like people watch what you're doing, they don't like it. That's the only thing. It's like, and it's kind of the same thing with Meltzer, who's been around for 30 years and 40 years, however long he's been like reviewing and critically looking at matches and that kind of thing. Like, and I don't know, it's just fucking like he makes his living this way, so it's kind of like someone's paying him for his opinion. So that's really
there you go. Everyone's going to disagree, right?
Anyway.
Is that it?
There's got to be something else to talk about.
Are we done on that subject?
Because I'm sick of talking about.
I've been sitting on. I was going to make a pivot, but I wanted you guys to finish what you had.
Pivot hard.
All right. Let me go back up to where it was.
Left turn.
All right. Kazariah Miller said, "What is the future of wrestling?" I figured that since we're kind of on the subject, because we've been talking about a lot of the past, and we've been talking about journalists in wrestling. What do you guys think the future of wrestling is? Do you think it's going to?
Honestly, I don't. I think because I remember I'm thinking back to WrestleMania 30, which is when everybody was like a boom period's coming. This was when like leading up to Daniel Bryan winning the WWE Championship versus I think it was Orton and Batista. It was Batista won the
because
Rumble.
they just brought Batista back, right?
Right, and he won the Rumble, and people didn't like that. People were all about Bryan
at the time, yeah.
And he wasn't going to be in the match, but then like they kind of pivoted and did the Bryan versus Triple H, and then it ended up being
it's time to play the game.
WrestleMania 30 is also when Taker lost. I think is when he lost to Brock Lesnar. I think that might be it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the point, like, that was when people were like, a boom period's coming. This because people were in the business.
And they were thinking Daniel Bryan was going to be the one to lead the way, like Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Stone Cold.
Whose fucking hair are you talking about, Joe? Whose fucking hair you want to wash?
Probably yours.
Yeah, Jill, just let Jill talk, Jimmy. You can't just let Jill talk.
Don't attack. We're not attacking the audience here. We're fucking.
Jimmy got offended. I wonder if she's talking about trying to wash your hair.
So
oh no, Jimmy's got to let his hair down. He's got to let He's got to let it down now. There we go.
My undyed.
But the thing is, like, after WrestleMania 30, the boom period never actually happened. It was just another WrestleMania at the end of the day, and there was no.
Well, do you think that was more so internal hype within the wrestling business,
part of it
as opposed to actual? Because a boom period would be more mainstream
for sure
fans coming in. And fans, like, people inside the business always want a boom period. Obviously, you want a boom period.
But this was when people were like, "This is it.
This is it. This finally,
the first time since really
it's going to turn around.
Attitude Era.
Yep.
There's never been really a boom period where John Cena was around. He was the guy, but it was never like, wrestling wasn't ubiquitous where it was everywhere. With Stone Cold, everybody was a wrestling fan. So when you go to school and that kind of thing.
Right.
Everybody loved it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
love Stone Cold.
That never happened.
We love Stone Cold on this podcast.
We do.
You could probably think, like, what happened afterwards. Daniel Bryan got injured, and he was out for a year. And then he came back. People loved it. I mean, that WrestleMania 30 fucking the yes movement. Remember him being on top of the fucking
I love
cage?
you guys. I love you guys. You guys are so polar opposites, but
Just
still
amazing,
love wrestling.
Amazing booking, isn't it?
It
Amazing
was at the time because I'm not going to go into it.
Amora said that she
is,
broke her arm and ankle wrestling.
The point is that
damn right, it's not fake.
Like, and then Bryan came back, but then he didn't win the Rumble again, and he was just put in a random match at WrestleMania. Then that's when he had to go away for a while.
Right.
He was injured.
Darnell said, Darnell Coolbreeze Anderson, which is a wrestler down in Florida. What's up, Burley? He said, it's hard to say about wrestling because there are no super megastars anymore.
Well,
but Daniel Bryan was like the last.
Oh my God, though. What about Kenny Omega?
What I was going to say is that I really don't think that, like, I think that this is the way it is. Like, this is just, I think that you might have, like, the guy that's going to be on top and who's going to be, like, the most recognizable, but I don't really think that, I mean, just WWE, because it's not really wrestling we're talking about. We're talking about WWE. Mm-hmm. When's the next time WWE
It's sports entertainment, pal.
Because when WWE is, like, on top, that's when wrestling in general is on top. But just hasn't been that way. And
right.
I don't think it's ever going to be that way again.
Why don't you think how is it never going to be like that again?
For one, the way people consume content is a lot different than the way it was back then. People aren't so, like, being live for wrestling has been a big thing for a long time, but people don't care about live content anymore. Really, I mean,
we're live right now. It's pretty easy.
On YouTube, but WWE's not on YouTube going live. They have their clips and that kind of thing.
Right.
But you can stop your day and go watch WWE whenever you want.
Right. Anytime.
And especially
But it is if you have the WWE Network, which is only $9.99 a month.
But those people are still watching it though, and there's still people that connect with it. That's the thing
about the network is fine, but you can't watch. I can't watch last night's or Monday's Raw. On the network right now.
It is if you have a Hulu, which is only, I don't know how much Hulu is.
And that's the thing. Like, people care more about, like, their lives are so busy now, and they don't necessarily want a place like a water cooler kind of moment anymore. People binge shows and, like,
they're breaking down into their own niches more so, instead of everyone's like, you only have access to these cable channels. Now you have access to everything on the internet, so you're really going to zero in on your niche. But wrestling's been a really huge niche. It's always been a huge niche. It's always been its own niche.
That's what it's going to be from now on. Is a niche. It's going to be.
But you don't think that there's going to be?
There's always going to be wrestling fans and that kind of people. I'm going to spread it and talk to whoever is young and that kind of thing.
Oh, my bad, Darnell.
Whoever is talking.
Montgomery, Alabama, brother.
Whoever is talking about wrestling and that kind of thing, people and, like, kids and that kind of thing. I want to talk to them and, like, have you watched this guy, that kind of thing, and have you watched this match? If you're interested in wrestling, or even if you're not, like, just have a conversation with them. Spread the message of wrestling so people know it's a thing still. But
and Amora said, I do feel like there's this spark that's missing between from now versus back then. And that's a big thing, but we have to always remember that wrestling's great, wrestling's awesome, but it was never about wrestling. It's always been about the personalities. As soon as they figured out the personalities, that's when people really started getting over.
part of that, like just thinking about it, I mean, where does the personalities come in now? Like who? Because
Internet now. What we're doing now.
Yeah,
This
think
is
about,
it.
like, all
like
you can follow all your
the
favorite
new
wrestlers
age.
on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and a lot of them have
Everywhere.
YouTubes and
Yep.
that kind of thing. And you see more of who they are on there versus on TV, on Raw and on SmackDown,
right.
that kind of thing.
But that's the unfortunate thing for me, because it's like with WWE, you have them playing this character, but then like you have them being their real name online, and then it's like, oh, they are just an actor, and you are just an actor in certain ways, but you are also a wrestler. You are you are a wrestler. I never wanted to be somebody else wrestling. I want to be me wrestling, you know. But unfortunately, the best way to make money is the WWE, and you have to become
do things the way they
whatever they visualize you as, and
Yeah.
that's a hard thing to make happen, because if you don't see that vision, then it's hard to even get started.
I mean, it does.
We just both looked over at Jimmy, and Jimmy's just had it.
I really thought I heard Jimmy. I heard something over here. I thought Jimmy. I heard something over here. I thought Jimmy was going to say something, so I stopped. And I looked over. He's just doing a shot. Like,
Don't even play it like you're that. You ain't even that drunk. You're playing. I know you're not. Oh, I took a
I'm
shot.
just over here
I drank
laughing.
3 Michelob Ultras and a Stone Cold beer. I took 1 shot. Nah, I can't. No, that's not. Maybe not even 3 Michelob Ultras. What is it? 2?
2 Michelows, 1 Austin beer, Steve Weiser,
And Shy said, "Cheers, Jimmy."
and like
Cheers, Jimmy.
4 or 5 shots of vodka. Yeah.
my thing right now is I think
4 shots?
there's a big opportunity for like wrestling that people for a long time have not really been taking advantage of, which is Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch Live, this
Yep.
kind of thing where you can live stream no matter anything. You can go on fucking Twitch, a wrestling promotion. We have a vacuum right now where
Yep.
because we to a degree wrestling is oversaturated because we have wrestling on every day of the week. WWE is on fucking TV
Everywhere.
every day. AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, fucking that's just the top 3, 4, whatever. Like, and you can watch them pretty much all the time. Like, but you have these live services and that kind of thing. Nobody is really using that, as far as I can tell.
But are they not allowed to? Especially if you're thinking WWE, maybe AEW's more loose and
WWE
because I don't pay
probably-
attention. Obviously, like we got a lot of stuff that we're doing, and we're keeping our own schedules, so I don't keep up with a lot of what everybody else is doing. So I don't know if I just assume that they are. It seems like a great idea to me. It's like
Like,
we
the
need to
thing
do
is-
this, and we always did the Spitting Venom Radio podcast. So it's like we need to do this. We need to live stream it, and now we're going to get the audio versions. We're going to get it back to where we were. But this seems like a no-brainer, right? Like
Just
if
me,
you're
like I most of what I consume video-wise is on my phone or a tablet or something like that. Like people's lives don't revolve around the TV anymore because you have so many screens that available to you. You need to be able to use those screens anywhere, whenever, like, and that kind of thing. And
Right.
I don't really think any wrestling promotions that I can think of are taking advantage of that to the degree that they should be. Like, especially WWE.
Here's an interesting point with that. Amora said maybe they are live too much. Back then, we only knew the characters, not the person.
I would say there are wrestlers who are definitely live too, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
I don't
Also,
think people. It's
I
just like the
think
Joe
the
Rogan
world-
podcast. He's a personality. He's a guy, but he'll put out 3-hour podcasts 4 to 5 times a week and millions of downloads. And he's not oversaturated. Maybe he's oversaturated now. I see a lot of complaints about him going on now, and I don't know anything about the controversy. I just see a little bit of the news in the the fields or the screens or whatever. But I think there's a balance.
But you can consume his content anytime.
Yeah, anytime
whenever you want, and he's not really live. I don't think, as far as I know. Like, he just put out.
I don't think he is. That's true. He used to be. I know he used to go live on Ustream, but I don't think he does
even being
anymore.
live anymore, it's not a big deal. Like,
No.
because people's lives aren't like built around a schedule all the time.
Right.
Necessarily, they're anything could come up at a moment's notice.
But it is cool being a part of the show, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I like that we're building here. Is like we're getting a live audience,
Like, the live
and they're
audience is-
part of the show.
Yeah.
But most of our audience isn't live.
The
Most
live
of our
audience
audience
is the
right.
most dedicated like fans.
There
and
are people
who love us.
There
and
are
wanna
people.
come and hang out. That kind
Yeah,
of
come
thing.
hang out. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
Most of the people who are going to watch
Who
this
do
or
watch it,
who are
right.
watching
They're gonna
Joe
catch it
Rogan or
tomorrow.
anything, they'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
No
because
big
we
deal.
get most of our views
And
within
that's
the
thing
next couple days.
with wrestling and WWE and that kind of thing. Like, I don't know where I can right now go see Monday's Raw. Like, I really don't. Like, that's why I don't watch wrestling that much anymore. I don't have a lot of people don't have cable anymore. And if you can only watch WWE Raw on USA, which is on cable, you have to subscribe to cable network or a cable company in order to get USA the app and that kind of thing where you can watch it whenever you want. But if you don't have that, you're SOL as far as I know. Like, I can't go on the network, the WWE network, and watch it, right?
So they release episodes or highlights like weeks. So they have full episodes like it's like weeks afterwards or whatever on the network. I don't know what the exact timeline is, but you can go watch full episodes of Raw and SmackDown and NXT and all that stuff on the network.
But like, they come to the network or something like that, like a
Hulu.
month afterwards.
Hulu. Whatever that subscription cost is, WWE has like a thing with them. So their Raws and SmackDowns are always available.
They have a shorter version, right?
No, it's the version. The full version, the day after. So Raw's on Monday. If you have Hulu, you can watch Raw in its entirety on Tuesday. And SmackDown's on Friday. You can watch it in its entirety on Saturday. NXT is the same way. Wednesday, you can watch it on Thursday.
See, that's a good option, but
if you have Hulu and you don't have cable, I think Hulu starts at like $10 a month. I think it goes up to like $14 if you don't want the commercials. But yeah, you could watch. WWE has like a thing with them, so you could definitely watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
my thing with WWE in that case is like, why don't I follow WWE on Twitter? Everywhere, fucking, I follow all their wrestlers,
all the social media
everything.
stuff. Yeah.
Why don't I know that? Why aren't they sharing? Why aren't they sharing? Like, come watch WWE.
And Morris
Raw.
said it's $14.99 a month.
I think that's
Hulu
what
Hulu is
out.
the shorter version, so you'll
Well,
get like
no. It's the whole episode just without the commercials. It's the entire episode.
I know there was like a shorter.
There's
version
no
of
short
Raw,
version.
something
I
like that,
promise you. I've watched it. I have Hulu. It's the entire episode.
Kazariah Miller said that AJ Styles rant took everything out of Jimmy.
Yeah, fuck AJ Styles.
It just
And fuck everybody who thinks that it's okay to just go out on a public platform. And this was after TNA. This was after he was already pretty over. Like, if you feel like it's okay, whether it's the N word, the F word, whatever fucking word, that you can go out on a public platform in the middle of a wrestling ring in front of a live audience and call people that and talk about people like that, you're a piece of shit. Like, we all make jokes with each other, right? We all joke about, I'm gay.
We say the worst.
Right?
We say
And
the worst stuff
our
to
best
each other.
friend is black, right? I'm gay. Our best friend is black. We're all fucking like. The thing is that like when you actually feel that way, when you're that kind of
It's
person,
right?
like
right.
you're
Yeah,
a piece of
context-
shit. You're
yeah,
a piece
the
of shit. I don't
context
care
is
how
different.
great. I don't care how great you are in the ring. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care how much money
See,
you
I didn't
have.
know all that about AJ.
You're an
really.
idiot.
I mean, I've always known that he's like a super big Christian.
I get it
and
if
he's
you're
like,
some guy that lives
I've always heard
underneath a
that.
fucking trailer.
Super Christian.
Like, fuck you. I don't care about your
I've
fucking
heard he
opinion.
doesn't.
It doesn't
He
matter.
doesn't. I know. All the thing I know about
But-
AJ, he likes video games because him and Samoa Joe have some sort of like rivalry, and that's really it. He likes video games.
How do you feel about that rivalry, Jimmy?
God, dog, who gives a goddamn fuck? Now, their rivalry
You're not
in
rooting for-
TNA was amazing because you
It
got
was
to
good.
watch
Yeah, it was really
AJ
good.
Styles and fucking Samoa Joe, who's
But I'm
arguably
I'm
two of the
legitimately-
best goddamn things ever come out of TNA
I'm legitimately
wrestling.
surprised that AJ
But
could get a
I
job.
I appreciate how you've expressed your opinions and you've seen how this guy like would treat, because I haven't seen it, but I've heard
Oh, it's
the
on
conservative
YouTube.
things. I've heard the flat Earth
can
things.
watch it.
I've listened to Jim Cornette. Yeah,
The flat Earth thing is where I'm like, AJ, what are you doing? Like,
but I would be. I don't mind flat Earth as much as what.
Right,
what
like,
Jimmy's-
yeah, I mean, I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't care if you have
Yeah,
some
that's definitely true.
ideas that you might think are valid about the Earth being flat. I could give a fuck. You know
Right,
what I mean? But
right.
it's like,
But now
It's
you're
still
thinking about.
fucking
Now you're
stupid.
judging people just
yeah,
for being
and
people.
I'm not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
you're
one of
right,
those
you're
people
right
that's like, oh, I'm offended by every. You know, I'm not like that.
Right.
But at the same
and
time,
you're not saying
dude,
cancel him. You're just saying.
oh no,
Fuck this dude,
bro. He could put the. I don't give a shit what they do. He could own WWE for all I care. But like, I just think that, man, you have a platform, brother. Like, I get it if you repair lawnmowers in a trailer park. Like, I don't give a fuck about your goddamn opinion. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be a piece of shit if you feel that way, but nobody's listening to you. But when you're someone like AJ Styles who has a worldwide fucking platform and you're calling people an F word that deals with homophobic slang and, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and then you're dropping the N word as well. Oh, he's done that too. Live. You can look it up. Like, and people can say the thing about Vince and stuff like that. Like,
Well, he did that on
we
TV.
were living in different times back then, and that was
bit.
on fucking pay-per-view, and Vince said it as a, you know, and I'm
was a
not.
bit.
It's a different thing. I'm not saying he shouldn't
And
have said it.
apparently Booker T was in on it. So
Yeah, Booker T was in on it. That certain people were asked if that would be okay. The boss man was asking certain people, "Do you mind if I do this?" And they were like, "Hey, boss, do whatever. I don't care." Should he just use his platform to say whatever he wants to say? That is very arguable, of course. But when we're taken out of that, when we're talking about people who actually feel like, "Hey, you're gay, you're wrong. You're going to hell. You shouldn't live that way.
Right.
You're a sinner. You're a fat, you know." And I don't want to piss people off, but you know what I mean. Like,
right.
You don't need to live that way.
Right.
Fuck you, buddy. Like, are you kidding me?
And Amora said, no, I watched WWE on Hulu. It's shorter. Like when Amber Moon came up to Raw, her match wasn't on Hulu, but it aired live.
They may have cut some things out. I'm not saying they don't cut anything out, but I know it's the full version without commercials. Now, I don't know if they changed anything because I don't have Hulu anymore. I have a friend's Hulu account. I don't ever watch Hulu. I record Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite on my DVR. And I just go back and watch it when I want to watch it or when something interesting. Like, I watch Hardy. Anything to do with Jeff Hardy, I will watch. If, like, Triple H is on TV or something like that, I'll watch. Certain people, like when, like, Jericho segments on, like, Dynamite, certain other angles, like Lucha Brothers or different people, I'll watch. People that I'm interested in, I will watch them. Other than that, I just don't watch. Because I love wrestling, but some of the things I just don't care about. Like, I just don't want to watch.
Right.
You know, but I still love Hardy. I love Stone Cold. I love Austin. I love anything with The Undertaker. If Taker's on TV, my ass will be in front of that TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, people like that, like, and I don't mind saying it. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
So one thing I want to we're going to pivot a little bit here because we're talking about the future of wrestling. I think there's one person who could be very involved in the future of wrestling, and that's Triple H. I kind of want to talk about Triple H for a little bit because I don't know why.
Now I have to. Shy wants me taking those shots, huh? Not gonna argue.
Well, I want
with
you
her.
here because you love Triple H, so I want you here as well. So
I'm a fan of Triple H. Yeah, I'm listening.
well, because a lot of people think that Triple H is going to take over for Vince at some point. Like, he's going to be probably the guy.
I thought it was Stephanie.
Triple H will run WWE when Vince is
Into
out
the
of
ground.
No. If you don't think that Triple H and Stephanie and probably Shane, but mainly Paul Levesque will be the next Vince McMahon, you're fucking joking. Like, how do you not see that? Like, and honestly, I will say this. Fuck yeah. Bring it on. I think WWE's new slogan should be WWE, time to play the game. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, hey, he's the
Time to
fucking
play
man.
the game.
but there are a lot of people who think that WWE, in which there's been some indications that they could be doing this, Vince is going to sell WWE before he dies. Like, and who knows if at that point who's going to be involved in it, right? I've heard that those rumblings around.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about Disney. They were talking about ESPN. Stuff like
ESPN,
that.
but
yeah,
isn't ESPN owned by Disney?
That's what they were saying. They were talking about basically Disney buying
ESPN's
WWE.
working with everybody now anyway.
But I'm going to tell you this.
You see WWE and UFC on ESPN.
My call, just my call. It'll be a cold, icy day in hell before Vince McMahon sells
sell it.
the WWE.
I would think the same thing.
I
It
think
seems like
Vince,
that, right?
call him what it is. And I'm just going to get off on a tiny little, just a little thing. Just give me 2 seconds here. I hate the people that are shitting all over Vince fucking McMahon. Because, all right, yeah, he's old. He's in his 70s, right?
How old is he?
He's like 74, 75. All right, but real quick while you look that up, just hear me out on this. Yeah, he's old, right? Yeah, he's very old school in some of his ways of thinking. Yes, the way we consume products, TV these days is different. Tastes change. Things change. Things
75.
evolve. He's 75. Things evolve. But the fact that people give this man so much fucking shit these days, are you forgetting who the fuck we're talking about? It's Vince fucking McMahon. Like, he's solely responsible at the end of the day. I'm not saying that he wasn't influenced or he didn't have other people helping him out or whatever the fuck, but at the end of the day, he is solely responsible for giving us all the years of just some of the best goddamn pro wrestling entertainment on the fucking planet. For better or worse. I'm not saying he's an angel. I'm not saying he's the greatest guy on the fucking... I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, when you think about it, right? You know what I mean? Like wrestling, the biggest company in wrestling on the planet, the WWE. Vince McMahon is the head of that. He's a leader of that. And I don't mean to go off on a little Mark tirade here. I'm just trying to say that, like, I can't stand when people give this man so much goddamn shit. Like, he's the captain of the ship. And he has that mentality of, I'm going to sink with this motherfucker. Now, yes, some people argue, Vince, sit the fuck down. Stop. Just stop. Let Triple H have it.
But ain't he going to ride until the wheels fall off, though?
That's the thing about Vince McMahon is he's Vince fucking McMahon. Like, you are going, he is going. No, listen. What are you talking about?
Rick had to
What are you
laugh.
talking about?
You made Rick laugh.
No, I'm saying he's going to ride it, yes, to the goddamn wheels
Just
fall
listening
off.
to Jimmy talk the way he talks about it. This is Vince McMahon.
It's Vince
talking
fucking
about
McMahon.
Vince McMahon. And he is like, I'm Vince McMahon.
No, I'm just saying that, like, all I'm saying is that, yes, this motherfucker is going to be sitting in the captain's chair in the fucking goddamn gorilla position or sitting in his goddamn office next to his fucking T-Rex head, Triple H got him, until he's dead. That's his life. Yeah, it was a half of a T-Rex skull. He has it in his office in Stanford.
That's pretty badass.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And it was a gift from Triple H. But anyway, but what I'm saying is that that's his baby. That's his company. That's his business. He ain't just we know he's not, like, he ain't a fool. You're not going to get one over on this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be in that chair until the end. And no one's going to change his mind. Now, does that affect things? Sure, it might affect certain things. Of course, I'm not arguing that
I
it
think
doesn't.
it's obvious.
I'm not arguing that it doesn't. I just can't stand when people give this man all the grief that he does. But
Amora has a
yes,
funny
when
one.
he is finally done, whether he finally decides to give it up voluntarily or involuntarily because he has a heart attack and fucking goddamn gorilla because something got fucked up in a match and he couldn't take it no more. When he's done, yes, Paul Levesque, Stephanie McMahon, and or Shane McMahon will all be in that fucking leadership position running the WWE. That is just how it's going to be.
But do you think that Vince McMahon could be petty?
Petty?
Because Amora said he suspended Titus O'Neil for touching him without permission. And
Watch that video. Hold on. Yes. Watch that video. Titus O'Neil was way too fucking handsy with Vince McMahon. He grabs him multiple times. And I'm sorry. Stop trying to hug the boss. Stop trying to hug this son of a bitch. Stop touching him. And Vince McMahon suspended his ass. Stop being a fucking weirdo. Fuck you, Titus. Like, stop touching people. Stop trying to grab him. He's like grabbing him. He's like trying to get him. He's like, oh, Vince, come here, buddy.
Hold on, I'll put up the video so everyone can see the context of what we're talking about.
Is generally considered
minute.
he's one of the nicest guys. People love him.
I'm not saying he's not nice.
But
Titus O'Neil's a good dude.
But when it's the boss,
you just said,
and you keep fucking going after him, trying to grab him, you don't do that.
So,
you don't do that. This is turned into so tonight's all about wrestling.
I really
wanted
wanted to focus on Triple H, but apparently we're talking about Vince McMahon.
That's okay. We'll have Triple H for later. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No,
it's
okay. We got
I have a
plenty
soft
of
spot in my
content.
fucking heart because this guy has provided us with all these years of amazing wrestling, whether we agree with the guy or not.
People could argue that he just lined his fucking pockets off the heart, the blood, sweat, and tears of.
He's the booker. He's the man. He's the guy. That's his business, and he pays them. He pays them very well to go out there and bump around and get some color and do whatever they need to do.
For everybody, I'm going to move over here so that you guys can see it as well.
we're watching the
I
Titus O'Neil.
slowed it down. So now if you watch closely.
God, remember when crowds were a thing?
Now watch.
Look
See
at
his
him.
arms grabbed. He
He
pulled him
grabs him, and Vince says, "Get the fuck off me."
Okay, yeah, that was a little much.
He literally
Just
grabs
watching it.
and pulls Vince to him.
yeah, well,
Watch him. Hey, pal, are you kidding me? You damn right you're suspended, you fucking idiot, you mark. Trying to fucking grab Vince McMahon? Get the fuck out of here. You can't even run down a goddamn entranceway without fucking slipping. That's why your ass isn't on. Fuck that.
Oh my God, Jimmy, I love you.
I mean,
love
Titus
you.
was just trying to get his moment in. That's what they say. Seize your moment.
Oh, he
just
got
wanted
it,
his
and he
attention.
got
It just-
suspended.
Maybe he had something important to tell him.
Yeah, well, good job, brother. Like, what do you mean? Like, who's grabbing Vince McMahon that way? He literally pulled him. Hey, you 70-year-old bastard, come here.
Amora said Titus is a mess. That's how he is.
That is how he is.
Who's gonna pull? Are you gonna pull Triple
Kazariah
H
said
that
he's
way?
going to sell the WWE to The Rock. I'd support that. Sell the football company,
XFL.
XFL, and WWE to The Rock. I think they'd be in good hands.
I'm sure it's he.
Seems
don't
like
think
everybody
Triple H
loves
is
that
gonna let
video.
that happen.
Everybody loves that Titus O'Neil rant. That's a good rant, though. That was funny.
Fucking Titus O'Neil.
He did
I'm just
grab
saying,
him, though. I
who
haven't
does
seen that in
that?
so long.
Who
I remember
does
when it
that?
happened, but I haven't seen that in so
Austin's
long.
not even doing that. You know,
yeah.
outside of an angle.
Right,
Okay,
right, right.
Austin's not waiting to fucking yank fucking Vince McMahon up. It's not. What are you thinking? You deserve that. You deserve to be slapped. That was a slap on the wrist. He obviously still works there.
He's a
He
good
obviously
dude. He's not
makes
gonna
good
fire him
money.
for that. Right.
He is a WWE ambassador. He travels the world on WWE's behalf to promote them. Titus O'Neil he does a lot of charity stuff on behalf of WWE.
Yeah.
He's obviously a very intricate part of that company. But that was a slap on the wrist. You don't do that. Don't do that. That's Vince McMahon. You don't do it.
Right.
You don't do
I mean,
it.
I don't.
What do you
get-
think about
I
that?
love Vince McMahon. Come at me. God damn it,
My
that's
thing
the
is-
fucking man.
My thing is, with,
I'm gonna go
with
use
talk-
Venom again, so you
talking
guys keep going.
specifically about.
I
Vince,
know you want to talk about Triple H. I'm drunk. I'm sorry.
Just focusing on Vince for a
go to
moment.
Triple H. I'm
like,
sorry.
No, stay on subject.
And Stephanie's
Stay on
hot.
subject. We'll do-
Stephanie's
we'll
so
do
hot.
Triple H.
Like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do
She's
it.
so
and-
hot now. Stephanie looks so good these days. Stephanie's hot. You look at Stephanie back in like the Jericho days when she was cutting
I
promos
was
on
going
her.
to talk about Vince McMahon, but apparently not.
No, I'm sorry. Frick, I'm
You
drunk.
fucking-
I'm sorry.
you
Go.
fucking-
Just go. I'm
I was going
sorry.
to talk about Vince McMahon.
I'm going to take a shot for a couple of people that wanted me to take
opinion.
shots. But go ahead and give your opinion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't worry. I'll get you home tonight.
You better chill with that on the fucking podcast.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Kayfabe.
We're gonna have to.
We're sleeping on Ron's couch. We're all
Yeah,
gonna have
we
a.
are.
We're all gonna have a post-show
anyway,
cuddle
stop,
fest.
Stop. So,
I want to be in the middle.
like I'm definitely not on Jimmy. I'm definitely not on the same wavelength as Jimmy as far as like Vince goes. Like my thing, like Vince is definitely like he is an important person.
He is God.
These two are going to have a wrestling show. I'm going to make a wrestling show for
The important he's
Yeah,
definitely
just us bitching at each
he's
other.
played an incredibly important role in the history of
I know
wrestling
it don't feel like it.
and WWE and just in general. But let's be honest, he's definitely like taken advantage of like the current situation with which has become more of a big deal where wrestlers are still considered independent contractors and that kind of thing. That's
Now that kind of stuff, I do agree with you on. Yes.
like wrestlers should be
if you're under
at least,
contract, you need to have certain things afforded to you.
like healthcare and that kind of
Yes, like
shit.
healthcare.
And if you're where was I going to say?
Because if you're not allowed to work anywhere else, you're not allowed to do anything else, you're under contract exclusively to one company, then certain things of that nature should be afforded to you.
At the very least, someone like, and I think unionizing is incredibly important for wrestlers. So at least
Now,
on
that I'm not going to comment on.
at least on the, I mean, Jim
I don't-
Cornette fucking is all.
I
about
don't
that
know
shit.
about unions. I don't know nothing about unions, so I
I
can't.
actually don't know, but Jim Cornette,
Yeah,
he's super liberal, so he should be. At least he says he is, because unions are a liberal thing. But
I've always been conditioned from my old company I worked for so long anti-union.
Yes.
Unions
Because-
are the devil.
Because
So I don't know anything else about unions.
fucking Walmart doesn't want fucking
Well, I
unions.
tried to kayfabe the goddamn name,
Of course.
but yes.
Here's the thing: unions do cost money.
Yes, they do.
cost the companies fucking money.
Right.
But they are necessary in order to protect the workers' rights and workers like the.
But what are
things
some
that
of the
they get.
arguments against unions that you could speak on? Because I know it can't just all be sunshine and
I mean,
rainbows.
there is like, I'm not like
pros and
su-
cons.
hold
Pros
on.
and cons.
That we're getting to. We're not going to get super in depth with like the political stuff aspect of unions and that kind of thing. But the only thing that I've heard is that like there are unions that will like negotiate with companies and businesses and that kind of thing in order to get a for sure like you're going to get a 2% raise every year or something like
Right.
that, or 3% raise, and it's not going to be based on your performance versus everybody just gets the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And everybody gets the same pay and that kind of thing.
Right. That
Which-
was my deal at a Pepsi.
Yeah.
When I talked to a guy that was training me,
And he said
he'd
something
worked
similar.
there for 10 years. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, you probably make way more there. He goes, you make the same amount I make. We're fucking union. We all make the same. I was like, wait a minute, you've been there for 10 years. I've been there for 5 fucking minutes, and we make the same amount of money? He's like, yeah.
Well, that shouldn't be the case because
yeah, that's what he said.
someone who's there, like,
and I was like, well,
thing is,
Houston,
like-
we have a problem.
like unions will negotiate like seniority raises and that kind of thing. That's what it's based on. That's what raises are based on in most like if you're a union.
I don't have a
company
real
has
job
a
now
union,
because
that
I'm a
kind of
fucking rock star.
Hell
with,
yeah.
With no money.
With no money.
I mean, my
Still
my
a rock
job-
star though.
Still a rock
My
star,
job
though,
is
daddy.
definitely union based, and that's basically like, what it would be argued if someone was to say like wrestlers in WWE are now unionized. Let's put that in. Let's give that like that's the mind you're working with. So basically, what they're saying is someone like John Cena, who makes the company so much more money,
Right.
will probably not be paid as well as if it wasn't unionized, because he needs to be paid. Someone who's on the bottom rung needs to pay kind of a similar amount to John, or at least a degree. John Cena's been there for like 10, 15 years, so he's going to be paid more because
Sure.
it's based on seniority. But he's not going to be paid.
But The
millions
Miz
of
does not need to
dollars
be paid the same amount that The Undertaker's paid. Or
basically.
do you believe that he should? I'm asking. I don't know. I don't believe that. Like, in terms of that type of stuff, like if you got someone like The Undertaker, like Stone Cold, like Triple H, and you have someone like The Miz or whoever, Lince Dorado, which is incredibly sexy, but does not mean that you should be paid as much as them. Call it like I see it. What do you want me to say?
I don't even.
You
I don't
be you,
even
brother.
know,
You be
I don't
you.
even know who the fuck that is.
Have you seen Angel Garza? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ.
I don't even know who the fuck.
Jimmy
you
has
said
a flavor, and you guys will start seeing. Y'all
So,
realize.
I'm about
Jimmy's
to
flavor.
fucking style and profile.
Like,
He's about to stop.
God damn, I can't do it.
I guarantee you, Ric
Hi.
Flair, about 5 shots in,
Oh,
doing
you
the same.
damn right. Hell yeah, I would love to drink with that motherfucker in a bar. God damn.
to stick with what Jimmy was saying as far as like the Undertaker being paid more than the Miz or something like that.
Which is one of the greatest people that have ever been in the wrestling industry of
Let's
all
talk about
time.
Undertaker.
Who, the Miz?
Yeah, the Miz.
The fucking Undertaker. Oh my
Jimmy
goodness.
is so easy. I'm sorry, but
I'm easy, especially when I'm drunk. There's certain people.
because he takes everything literally. Like
No, there's just certain people.
now, no, but
The last
you don't
episode of
disrespect
The
them.
I don't
Undertaker's
disrespect them,
episode,
right?
Hold on,
I cried.
I don't want to go on a tangent about this about the Undertaker again. We talked about that already. We've already done that.
If you don't respect The Undertaker, you're dead to me.
So the thing is, Undertaker now. Let's talk about Undertaker versus The Miz now. Should The Miz, who works week in, week out, make the same amount of money as the Undertaker, who works maybe once a year?
Well,
Yes,
well,
absolutely
no,
he should.
No, you're not looking at it properly, though. You're not looking at it at all properly, though.
Hell not.
Because what's the merchandise sales? Who's bringing in
That's the
more
thing.
eyes?
But that's what we're
How
talking
many
about.
DVD sales? How many The Undertaker?
If you
Ooh,
put
it's a
if
very,
you
very-
put The
that's a very, very big
Miz
thing.
in a main event at Madison Square Garden,
Oh, no.
say this is a one-off. Say this is a one-off show, and you put The Miz versus Roman
Hey,
Reigns.
I'm gonna.
Right?
You're gonna have to check the chat soon.
I will check the chats,
Check
but I'm
the
going to
chats.
put this
I'm gonna let
one
you
off.
check I don't want to
This
read
is
it.
oh,
you
I
check
will
it.
because it's probably going to get me hot now by the way you're setting it up. But the way you say you put a one-off show, where it's The Miz versus Roman Reigns in the main event at Madison Square Garden. Who the fuck cares?
Jimmy.
If you then put Roman Reigns live at Madison Square Garden against The Undertaker, now that will draw money. That I'm not taking nothing away from The Miz.
Sounds like
at
taking a lot
all.
away from
No. We're comparing here Undertaker Miz. That's the only reason. The Miz put a mic in that motherfucker's hand, gold, diamonds.
He's actually really good in ring now,
Amazing.
too. He tells a good story.
He is a good worker. He can get the job done.
Doesn't
He
get
is an
anyone
awesome
injured.
hand.
Never been injured himself.
He is The Miz, for all intents and fucking purposes, is the man. Like, The Miz is great.
Miz.
I love The Miz. I have nothing
Amora
against
said
him.
The Miz doesn't suck. Nobody's saying
Nothing
The Miz
against
sucks.
The Miz. He's got a great
Nobody's
look.
saying The Miz
He's
sucks.
got a great look. He has a wrestler's body.
Has a beautiful
right?
wife.
He Maurice is smoking fucking hot. Not as hot as Sable, but she's smoking fucking hot.
No.
All right.
No.
All right.
I disagree with that.
Oh, it's Sable.
Fucking
But-
Maurice is so much better
right.
than Sable.
Maurice now versus Sable now, yes, but Maurice
No,
now.
pride.
Are you kidding?
Fucking-
When she had the handprints on her titties? Are you kidding me?
We are going to have a wrestling podcast
So-
with you two, and I'm going to produce it.
But here's
so
the thing,
just
though,
letting
real
you guys
quick. I
know.
was going to say,
This is the
but
future,
when you
guys.
look at
This is the
marquee
future.
status, is what, and I think that's what Ron was trying to get at.
That's what I was getting
before
at.
I'm too banged up. But when he was talking about marquee status, the fucking Taker is not like he's the
Fucking
guy
Taker.
versus the Miz. It's like, come on, dude. Now, if you put the Undertaker versus the Miz, people are going to want to see that because, like, what the fuck? Why are they even doing
But
this?
here's the thing.
All right, but I do need to look at the comments real quick.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you're going to have
Here's
to.
the thing about what you've been saying, is yes, Undertaker deserves respect and
Everything.
a stature than as compared to certain other people, but not everybody. Okay, The Miz does deserve. He's been there for at this point 15 years.
Look
the
for
longest.
Kazariah.
Oh, yeah, he's been there
Look
for a long
Kazariah.
time.
Tell me what
Kazariah, I
Kazariah.
was trying
Read
to-
him out loud.
He's been there for a longest time. The Miz has.
Yeah, Miz has been there for a
he's
minute.
Consistently.
Yeah, consistently.
But The Undertaker, how much time did he put in consistently at the top?
for sure, 20 years. Which now we're getting to that point where
He's old. Yeah.
It's
he's-
been a
The
little
Miz
long.
is
It's
the
been a
best,
little
though.
bit longer than
Right.
20 years.
But
It's been 30 years.
How long has Undertaker been
1990.
doing this fucking like his?
Right? Am I
And
right
Amora?
about that? Debuted at Survivor Series 1990. It was the year after I was born.
But what I'm saying is,
30
how
years.
long has Undertaker been doing his fucking one year fucking?
Oh well, that's
One
been
match a
it's been a
year.
few years, but
It's been
that's
a few years.
but if you go back and watch his 5-part series on the network, you'll understand a lot of that because it
No,
opens
but
up like
what
never
I'm saying
before.
is, like,
and that's some good shit.
The Miz now has been
I tried to
around,
talk and burp.
what, 15 years now, which is like take Undertaker.
Undertaker
15
was
years
lacing
in.
his boots while fucking Mrs. Dad was pumping
Think about
Mrs. Mom
Undertaker.
full of cum to make the Miz,
Undertaker's
okay?
been on
That's what Undertaker was lacing his goddamn boots.
I don't know.
Don't let me watch During Great and drink anymore before the podcast, okay?
Jimmy, Amora says Sable kills every woman on the roster.
You
body
goddamn right she does. Sable is the OG. And if you want to argue with that, go talk to her husband. I don't think you'll get very far. All right, but I need to find this comment you're talking about.
Yep.
I don't mean to
Found
cut us off.
Kazariah Miller.
Kazariah Miller. I see her. LMFAO. Amora Too Funny. Darnell. I don't know. I think.
But the Undertaker was there
Shots,
from what
cheers,
90
all that
till let's
stuff.
say Undertaker 15 years in was what 2006.
Bernie.
Think about Undertaker
Bernie.
2006
What's up, Bernie?
versus how long?
Bernie
was-
from MCW.
Yeah, I know Bernie. Yeah, well, I haven't talked to Bernie in so long. What's up, man? I miss you, Bernie. Bernie was
He's
a
a good dude.
guy.
Bernie's a good
Yeah, I
dude.
like Bernie. He's a good guy.
Do I need to read it?
One of the good ones. Buck Cherry,
I see
baby.
Jill says negotiate your own contract. I mean,
Who's
yes,
the
to a degree.
Undertaker?
There it
You're
is.
about to get blocked.
Don't block. No, you
Waiting
can't block.
for him to say Lindsay Dorado. Lindsay Dorado. Wait, Bernie. Waiting for him. Are you waiting for me to say? I'm not going to say it again. But woof. Is that was the only
That was
comment?
it. Who is the
Who's
Undertaker?
the Undertaker? But I know they don't mean that. That's the thing. That's why I can't get.
They're trolling you.
I know they're trolling
fuck is the Undertaker?
because I can ask a fucking 2-year-old who the Undertaker is, and they'll be able to tell me. I can ask Aunt Rhonda's new fucking puppy who the goddamn Undertaker is, and he'll be like, ruff, right? He'll be able to tell me.
That's not going to be the case.
Aunt Rhonda's puppy.
Just think about it.
He'll be like, rough, the Undertaker.
Like,
think about this. Think about this. I mean, the Undertaker, in 10 years, like, we know who the guys are.
I don't want
right?
to think. I don't want to think about it.
Think about. We know who the guys are. We know they're Stone Cold, The Rock,
Taker, Triple H.
No.
What are you talking?
No. John Cena.
Who
Hulk
are you
Hogan.
talking about? What's the
guy.
category?
The
guy?
We're
Rock.
we're all
Austin.
Hogan. Cena.
Undertaker.
No.
Cena.
Cena.
Triple H. Jericho.
No.
But I could keep going.
No.
Those are all the guys.
But
back
you're
in
wrong. But you're wrong.
Darnell said there is no comparison between Taker and The Miz.
Yeah, no, and that's not fair.
There is a
to
comparison.
even know.
They're both
but
wrestlers.
wait a minute,
You
guys.
have to compare them.
Guys, wait a minute,
that's
though.
the metric.
It's not fair.
You have to let Rick say his
I
piece
know.
too.
I'm just saying it's not fair to even compare. I didn't mean to drop bars just now. It's not fair to compare.
Dropping
Now-
plates on that ass.
But
Miz and
we're
Taker.
talking about longevity, legacy for one. That's the main thing. And to me, like we're talking, but separate that from livelihood and making money, supporting you, supporting your family, that kind of thing. Within WWE, sure, there are some people who might get an extra check because they, based on like what's it called, residuals or whatever, when you get paid for stuff you sell and that kind of thing. Yes, that'll exist. That probably I don't know what the ins and outs of like a potential union in WWE could be. Like, what are they negotiating? That kind of thing. Like, maybe if you sell.
I don't know anything about any of that.
Me neither.
Any of that
I don't know
stuff.
exactly like how it all works.
I've been an independent contractor all my life, so I just worry about myself.
So like,
Very selfish of me, but it is what it is, you know.
I mean, that's the way it is right now. That's the way the wrestling business has always been. So like, but you eventually get to a point where everybody is part of this, like the union and that kind of thing. And they're probably going to be negotiating these kind of things, like how much can people get based on the amount of merchandise they sell and that kind of thing. And do wrestlers get a certain percentage of whatever the sales are, or whatever, how many tickets that WrestleMania sells? How do you divvy that based on into the wrestlers with a union involved, that kind of thing? Like, that's up to the wrestlers and the union to kind of decide, which hopefully the wrestlers will be involved in those negotiations. So, like, at the end of the day, yeah, the Miz probably should be making as much as the Undertaker now.
And then Bernie said the Miz was in 4th grade when Brother Love was bringing the Taker to the ring in Hartford that November night.
Like, eventually you get to a point.
I love you.
Like, how much does Undertaker make as
I
much?
love
as
Okay,
John
no.
Cena?
Okay, hey, here,
I love
Darnell
this
has a
picture.
good point. And Darnell says, I don't care the Miz's name. Name me a great Miz match. I will wait.
The Miz versus John Morrison.
Damn!
Fucking
Damn! How about that? How about that, Darnell? And they did
There-
not take Rick. Rick didn't have to. He didn't even have to think. That was like right at the top.
The
He was
Miz-
ready to rock
the
and
Miz
roll
versus
with that.
John Cena. The Miz versus fucking AJ Styles. I mean, although AJ Styles is AJ Styles, but
Now,
don't take it
one
away
could
from the Miz.
argue.
Don't take away from the Miz.
No. One could argue, though. Those guys you just named, Styles, Bryan,
Well, I said Cena and
Cena.
Morrison.
What if those guys carried Miz?
It's literally the same thing as people say about John Cena. Like, it's
I'm
really
just
the same.
saying,
People say like who
you
John-
put Miz in the
John
ring
Cena's been
with
in the
someone
ring.
like Bryan or someone like Styles.
Is that not just perception though? Like, it's just
I
like
know, it's
because
not
they
perception.
work. Yes, it is because
No,
they work a
it's
certain
not.
style. Like AJ Styles and Daniel
Because you
Bryan.
got a
work
guy
kinda
calling a
similar
match
styles.
and leading a match. So
Who
that's
knows
not.
who's leading those matches. I don't know. Like, we're not in those matches. The thing is,
I would have to imagine if you put Miz and
that's
Styles.
because of your perception of the Miz versus AJ Styles. Like, people think that, of course, AJ Styles, he's been on Indies for a long ass time. He's worked a certain style. so he's
been around
obviously
for a
the
long time.
veteran.
I mean,
Like,
typically in that heels call the match, right? But here's the thing, like.
there are plenty of Miz matches that are really good. Like,
I'm not saying there's not. I'm trying to play
And the
devil's
thing is,
advocate,
like-
but at the same time, I'm trying to get you to realize that sometimes it's not just that one guy is, oh my God, you put these two guys together, they're so good. Like, no,
what I'm trying
it's
to make,
a
what I'm
fucking
trying to
work.
make- the thing is, what I'm trying to make you see is that there's a common denominator amongst, what if AJ and Cena and fucking who else did I name? Fucking John Morrison were made good
Morrison, yeah.
by the Miz. Who fucking knows? Like, the Miz could have, like, I'm not saying, I know that the Miz is like, this is like going back to the Daniel Bryan versus the Miz on Talking Smack, where you work a safe style.
That first promo they did with Bryan and Miz.
Yeah, it was fucking good. And
That was
Brian
money.
was talking.
That was money.
You're literally saying the same thing Brian was saying.
I've been kicking heads in all over the world. And
I mean, that was money. That
was great.
promo
That
was
yeah.
like.
But
Yeah.
Brian
That,
was like,
that took Miz to a next level, is what that did.
took them both.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But
why
Miz was
why
like.
do they keep giving the
promo
Miz
guy.
the Intercontinental title, man, that kind of thing? 'Cause
I mean, it's the same reason. I don't fucking know Bill. They could give anybody. Fucking
they know
Who
if they
cares?
give him the title, he's gonna make it. He's gonna elevate it. He's gonna make it look better. Because
Some people need the championships, right? And then sometimes championship needs people. I mean, it kind of it's weird. You know
I
what
do
I mean?
think
Like
the Miz probably
right
should-
now, the goddamn like Intercontinental title belt, which that new design is one of the sexiest designs I've ever seen. But they got it between three guys right now: Styles, Hardy, and Zayn. So now they're having a triple threat ladder match at the next pay-per-view. Ladder match. Because it's fucking Hardy. He's a goddamn legend. And fucking you got... Are you just fucking me?
No!
Are you kidding me?
Oh no! I knew it.
I know. See, you
I'm
did
sorry.
that
Hey,
on
guys.
purpose.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
sorry,
feeding
guys.
into it.
This is a wrestling show. We're
I'm
going to
not
start doing
feeding
a
into
wrestling
it.
show too. So we got Spitting Game Radio, but we're going to have a wrestling show.
Oh
with
yeah,
you
I
two.
get it, but
I'm
I'm
sorry, 'cause
not
you guys
feeding
are-
into that.
So, you guys are
I'm not
polar
doing it.
opposites, and this is just gold.
If you don't
Now-
think Jeff fucking Hardy is a wrestling legend, you're out of your fucking goddamn minds.
Oh man, I liked it. I
you
love
open
it.
up a fucking
All
can
I
of
did- I didn't
words.
do nothing.
And Matt
I
Hardy.
didn't do anything.
He didn't. I didn't do nothing.
But I'm
did
not
was
going
go.
to feed into it because they know how to work me up. I'm just saying they got a whole triple threat deal right now with that one fucking belt because I don't think they know what the fuck's going on. And they just got all these guys together doing shit. And it's just like, it is what it is. But that's one of their most popular segments on SmackDown right now, ratings-wise. So people are eating that shit up. You know what I mean? So when we were talking about belts.
Who the
But
fuck has the belt right now?
apparently all three of them do.
No, I'm sorry. Who has the world title on SmackDown right now? Is it Bray or is it
Roman.
Roman.
Because he's with Paul Heyman now.
Who has it on Raw? I thought Roman was on Raw.
Darnell said, "Hey,
it
John
Braun
Morrison,
Strowman?
it's great. He cared for the Miz. He carried the Miz even when they were a tag team."
Nobody. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Nobody cares about John Morrison.
John Morrison.
No,
fucking-
I
the
know.
Miz-
No, John Morrison's great. I've
Darnell
met him. He's
Darnell
an awesome
said,
guy.
"Yeah,
but
the
no, I
Miz
don't.
needs a title because he can't get over without it."
That's not necessarily true at all. I don't honestly feel like Miz needs a belt. Miz is a good hand. Miz is a guy. He's a good. You can put him in there, get the shit done. Miz is. You don't need to put a belt on him. Who's the fucking champion of fucking Raw? I think it's Braun Strowman.
Is it Braun and Roman?
Roman is with Heyman.
Who the fuck did Roman?
Roman's
win
the champion.
Okay.
He got it from Bray Wyatt, I think.
So what's
Who the fuck is the Raw? There's too many fucking champions right now. Why the fuck can't we just have one goddamn champion that
Drew
goes back and
McIntyre?
forth, kind of like a territory? That's him, Drew McIntyre. He's the Raw
He's the
champion.
Raw champion.
Yep.
But aren't
McIntyre.
Roman and Drew fucking
McIntyre.
feuding
I should have
or
known
something?
that. I just watched it Monday.
McIntyre. Yeah, McIntyre's the champion. It's amazing
aren't-
it's amazing what hiking a few
Amora-
trails can do
Well,
for a brother.
no,
and
but-
get a belt put on you.
Amora has
Jinder Mahal.
a good comment. To be honest, it's all a clusterfuck at the moment.
It is kind of all
Seems
over
like
the
it a
place.
little
But
bit.
you know what? I'm not going to
COVID.
play
Thanks,
Monday
COVID.
morning quarterback. I'm not going to play pretend writer.
So who is Roman Reigns feuding right now for the belt?
Actually, Jimmy Uso.
On SmackDown?
Okay.
What
Jimmy
was
Uso
that, Jimmy?
has a
Did you
title
go,
match.
what was that?
Because apparently there's nobody else other than Jimmy Uso that Roman Reigns could fucking
there's
feud
an
with.
interesting story there with
Because his family and all
family
that stuff.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what they're
They have a
doing.
family history.
How is since he's been back? How would you say Reigns is done?
Oh, I think that brother taking some time off and hiking those motherfucking trails worked out for him because he looks incredible.
Hiking
That
helps a
brother
lot,
is
don't it?
jacked.
Hiking helps
He
a lot.
looks great. And
no,
he's with Heyman. He's
Amora
got the
said
belt. He's a
it's
heel.
Jey Uso,
good to
not
go.
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy, Jay, they're twins. Who gives a fuck? But
Don't you like them?
Jimmy, I like. Jimmy's the better one.
That's why you said Jimmy.
Jimmy's the better one.
But it's Jay.
Is it because
Are you
they share-
sure it's Jay?
is it
Well,
because
Amora
you and
said
Jimmy
Jay.
Share a name? Is that why you like Jimmy?
Jimmy
more?
and Jey Uso?
Yeah.
What?
Why do you like Jimmy more than?
Jimmy looks better. Like I know they're identical twins, but there are slight differences. And Jimmy Uso looks better than Jey Uso.
So do you think the feud like how is it just Paul?
I
Heyman
think
cutting-
Jimmy might be injured, or I think he has some legal shit
So
going
is it
on.
just Paul Heyman cutting promos for Roman, or is Roman speaking himself as well?
Roman's speaking a little bit, but Paul's doing Paul Heyman shit. You know, I mean, they're finally now doing the whole heel thing with fucking Roman, which they should have done a long goddamn time ago. But they're finally now doing the whole heel thing with Roman. And who better? Paul Heyman's not doing nothing else. Why? Because Brock Lesnar's not doing no goddamn Thunderdome shit. Brock Lesnar's an attraction. He's a draw. He's money. He's not coming into a goddamn empty
Apparently
arena
he
with a
doesn't
bunch of
have
fucking
contract
LED
right now.
streams.
Wasn't Brock Lesnar like removed from the website or some shit like that because he doesn't have a?
Now that part I don't know, but I know Brock Lesnar is not coming into an arena filled with a bunch of goddamn TV screens. Like
he came to
is.
the fucking the last thing
He
they had,
did
didn't
he did the one thing to get the belt off of him, and then he was out. He was done.
That was a WrestleMania, right?
So yeah, for Drew McIntyre. So what else? And Paul Heyman had a lot of heat on him. I don't know if any of that's because of the Luke Gallows thing, Carl Anderson shit, and all that stuff. But like,
Well, no, I don't know anything about.
but
that.
no, that's just a whole bunch of shit. Paul Heyman was on TV for a while. He got fired from that one role he was doing, creative. Blah blah blah. What are you gonna do? Oh, Roman needs to be heel. Roman's coming back. What are we gonna do? Oh my God, let's put him with Paul Heyman. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey,
No,
so
but
now Paul
what's
Heyman's
the
an
deal?
on-air talent.
What's the deal with like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and Paul Heyman?
So Gallows and Anderson, when all those people got fired back like a couple months ago, when like everybody on the fucking roster got fired,
Right.
and they all went to TNA, fucking Gallows and Anderson apparently were safe, but they were both making $750 a year each. $750 a year. $750 a year.
750,000.
Yes, a year. Because Gallows and Anderson, yes, a year.
wonder
each.
Wrestling can pay you
Here's
very
the
well.
thing. Here's
No
the
wonder
thing.
they were
No,
fired.
no, 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 no,
Wrestling
no.
can pay
Wait,
you very
time
well.
out there. There's a little bit more to it. Gallows and Anderson want to leave. They were done. They want to go out to Japan. They want to do their thing. They wanted to be the superstars that they are.
I'm sorry, but seven.
No, no, no.
I could believe
Wait,
75,000.
but wait, no, wait.
I could see 75,000. Jesus
Do
Christ.
you know who the
He
fuck
don't
Gallows
know.
and Anderson are? You
No,
know the
no,
Good
no,
Brothers
he doesn't
are?
understand- I don't think he understands wrestling, like the business side of wrestling, though.
Here's the
There's
thing.
a lot of
Here's
money,
the thing. And I'm not
dude.
taking nothing. Here's the thing.
It's a lot of money out
They
there.
kept
dude.
wanting to leave. And Triple H, when they were in Tokyo, when Triple H joined the Bullet Club, and they did the whole angle over there.
Triple H joined the Bullet Club.
Well, he did a match with Gallows and Anderson and Finn Balor and stuff like that.
And did he like pose with everybody and
insert-
do it
yeah,
like?
he
Did he do the
inserted-
bang bang bang
and they did
Bullet
the,
Club?
No, they did the click thing.
Oh, they did the
I do remember
NWO
that. I do
thing.
remember that.
Yeah,
They did the
because
NWO
that's
thing.
what Gallows and Anderson.
Because
They
that's- they do the NWO
They
thing.
do the thing. Yeah,
Everybody does the NWO thing.
they
basically.
do the thing.
Everybody
So,
does it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does it, right?
the Bullet Club does it, but I think a
But
lot of
everybody
people-
does it.
Everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
You know what I mean?
Not just the Bullet Club.
No, but you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
so
what you mean. I'm teasing.
Like this
Gallows
thing-
and Anderson kept saying that they wanted to leave. Triple H kept coming back to him, and what's it gonna take? I don't want you guys to leave. I don't want you guys. You guys got to be here. You guys got to be here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Oh my God, it's gonna be great. We're gonna put the belts on you. They said, I don't want to fucking. We don't give a fuck about the belts. We just want to be the goddamn Bullet Club. Like, not the Bullet Club, but we
But
want to
they wanna-
be
right,
who
right.
the fuck we
They
are.
wanna be who they are.
Why you brought us back after fucking Festus? A lot of people forget about that.
He was like,
And the Punk shit. You know what I
That
mean?
was actually really good.
So, but then you got to think Gallows and Anderson, the fucking Good Brothers. I love them because they make wrestling
definitely
fun
good.
for me.
Right.
They make wrestling fun for me. They make
we
me
watched
laugh.
we watched that
They
pay-per-view,
make
and
me joke.
that was, and you know my reservations.
They
about,
take the seriousness out of it and
Right.
make it fun for me.
right, but you can appreciate that.
Yes.
If you just
'Cause they're
relax, have a couple
geniuses at
Steve
that
Weisers,
Yep.
and just watch it and
And
enjoy
they
it. Because
tell
I
you,
enjoyed it. I'm not going to watch it again.
Get
it doesn't
drunk.
There's
'cause
no
you're gonna need
replay
to
value
drink.
in it for
Yeah.
me.
Right,
But
but
I'll
you
enjoy
got
it.
what it was.
I got what it was. It was
But
fun.
here's the
it
thing.
was a fun pay-per-view.
So they talked about it full on. They said finally after that match in Tokyo, they were taking a shower. They were done. They walked around a corner. Triple H stopped them. He had a piece of paper and he goes, "Hey, will this work? This is my final offer. Will this work?" And they go, "Yeah." And it was $750,000 a year each for 5 years. I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 5 years each.
a year.
A
That's
year.
a lot of fucking money.
It's
I
a
get
lot
it.
of money.
The
And
thing
then,
is-
not even, hang on though, I'm sorry, no, wait though. Not even 3 months later, or however many months later, they were on the chopping block. They got fired.
Let go.
They were let go.
They still got
Now-
a year, so
That's where Paul Heyman came in. Because apparently, their names, because of the amount of money that they made, and WWE needed to make some cuts for money and blah, 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 Paul Heyman said to Vince, "You got Gallows and Anderson making all this fucking money. They don't need that. We don't need that. Let them go." So
too expensive.
basically what
Well,
happened,
But the context is COVID.
COVID,
You're not taking in as much
saving
money.
money.
Right.
You got two guys on the roster
Nobody's making any money
making
anymore.
a lot of money.
Right.
And they were making way more than a lot of people on
That's
that
bank.
roster.
That's bank.
A lot of people.
As a
I'm not
tag
talking
team.
So
shit. Now, I
Vince,
just want to be clear
they-
about one thing real quick. I'm not talking shit about.
There's more to this,
I
by
know,
the way.
but keep that in mind. I'm not talking shit about Gallows and Anderson.
I love them.
$750,000 is a lot.
Fuck you,
for-
buddy!
For
Sorry.
any
God
wrestler to
damn, I
make.
don't
I'm
mean to
sorry,
turn.
but $750,000 is almost $1 million a year. Any wrestler, like most wrestlers, don't make that in WWE. I firmly believe that. Like they don't believe. I don't believe they like.
Some.
90%, 90%,
I mean,
$1 million
depends who you
a
are.
year almost. Like at the end of the day, they're making three.
how much you think Jeff Hardy makes right now?
Probably about $750,000 a year. I can imagine them.
Probably,
but,
probably, yeah.
But are you saying, like, to me,
'Cause he's on his way out.
I understand why Paul Heyman in that situation would be like, Gallows and Anderson up until they were with AJ, they weren't doing a whole lot. They were just around. They were
brought in because they're the name from Japan with the bullet thing, but then they
Yeah.
kind of got broken. They kind of thrown all over the place.
Like
and blah, blah, blah.
I think they were definitely underutilized.
But
as
here's
a
where
group, and
AJ.
they were awesome.
Here's where AJ had the heat with Paul Heyman, because AJ was hot, and
I mean,
AJ because that's his best friend.
friend.
Yeah.
I get it.
So AJ was hot, and he goes to Paul Heyman, and he goes, "Did you have anything to do with this?" Because he heard from some people that he did. Paul Heyman said, "No, I promise. If I would have known that, I would have fought for them." Blah blah blah. You know how Paul Heyman is. Paul Heyman pulled a Paul
Sounds
Heyman.
like it worked.
Yeah.
He pulled a Paul Heyman on
Right.
him. So then,
But what is pulling a Paul Heyman so
Styles,
that everybody knows?
Paul Heyman will lie through his teeth to you. Just watch any Tommy Dreamer shoot interview, and you will know everything you need to know about Paul Heyman. And for better or worse, listen, let me tell you something. Paul Heyman did not make all the best decisions, and Paul Heyman may have dug himself too deep sometimes. I really, truly believe Paul Heyman had the best intentions back in the ECW days, and I think Paul Heyman brought a lot of shit out of people
My thing is-
that they couldn't bring out of themselves, but he had to lie a lot. He had to fuck some people over to do that.
He is genuinely one of the best creative minds that I know of in wrestling. Like he's definitely like a guy that I would want.
Oh, he's a
if I-
fucking genius.
If I was to have like my own company, Paul Heyman would be like my creative lead. Like he'd be the guy kind of dictating most things. But business-wise, just based on what I've heard about ECW, based on what I've heard about him when he's involved in the business side of WWE, he's not the greatest. He's not great with money. He spends too much, and he's one of those people that lives past their means. And
But yeah, and maybe I don't know what he spends his
although
money on. But
and he will like make a deal with someone and know he can't make that deal and still go through with it.
Yes, now that
and
is that's classic Paul Heyman.
And deal with the consequences of this
Oh,
decision
you should hear the
later.
Cornette story when Paul Heyman brought Cornette in for that one surprise. It's like, oh my God, it's one of the best stories. I don't want to botch it because I can't remember everything.
But put over Cornette and let him know where to.
Oh my God, fucking Cornette's drive-through, anywhere you find podcasts, a fucking experience. If you want to know wrestling and you want to know from a guy who doesn't give a fuck, listen to Cornette.
That's Jimmy's spirit animal, is Jim Cornette.
Yes. I love Jim Cornette.
And Darnell Cool Breeze Anderson said Paul Heyman is the best worker in the business.
Oh, he'll work the shit out of you, that's for sure. But where the heat came from with AJ, just to wrap that point up real quick, AJ went to Vince.
Yeah.
Because he has that kind of rapport. He's one of the top guys. He can storm Vince's office.
I mean, apparently
for the most
Vince
part.
loves him some AJ. That's what I heard.
We're not getting into that. But he asked Vince, did Paul have anything to do with this? Because a few people, after AJ talked to Paul, a few people said Paul totally had everything to do with that. Well, Paul said he did. Well, he did. I'm going to Vince. Boom, boom, boom. Vince. Did Paul Heyman have anything to do with this? Yes. I wasn't. Vince said, according to AJ, out of his mouth, Vince said they were not on my list. But Paul Heyman brought up a few points, mainly about money, which put it into Vince's head.
$750,000 is a lot of money.
So
it's a lot of money.
Basically, Paul Heyman encouraged Vince to.
A piece.
You don't
too.
need
a piece too.
A piece,
so
yes.
That's what.
But let's not
$1.5
forget
like
who approved those contracts, who wanted that to be a thing.
A year.
And that was Triple H. But that was at a different time too. COVID wasn't a thing then.
Yeah.
So had COVID never been a thing, it's safe to assume that Gallows and Anderson would still be in the fucking. A lot would be different right now. So hindsight's whatever, but that's basically what happened. And a lot of people were upset with Paul Heyman because a lot of people love the Good Brothers. A lot of people love Gallows and Anderson. So that's just one of those things. Of what are you going to do? Now they're in TNA. They're doing great. They got TNA offered them the same amount of money that they were offered way before they re-signed with WWE. They're doing great. They can do, and they still got their connections with Japan, which TNA afforded them. Hey, you can work for us and you can work for Japan. They're making so much fucking money now. It's ridiculous. Why? Because no, they make more.
I don't believe it.
No, Rick, they do.
Not individually.
Yes, they do. Rick, between TNA
Rick.
and Japan,
seriously,
they are millionaires apiece a year. I
Japan,
promise.
Yeah.
Gallows and Anderson are two of the biggest superstars over there in Japan.
They're huge.
And in TNA,
they're huge in Japan.
TNA right now, they're the two biggest guys.
But
in
you
that
have to
company.
remember, internationally, New Japan's been around since the 1960s.
A long time.
They've been around for a long time, and they're one of the top companies in the world. They're not the WWE, but that's because Japan's just a little bit of a smaller company or a smaller country. Probably a lot.
Here's the thing: they got almost 200 million people in that country. How?
Like
they're so tiny.
It's
They got like 100
smaller,
something
but it's
50.
not that much smaller.
They got
That's
like 100
crazy.
something 50 million people in Japan.
That's half of
We have
America
300
right
something million.
Right. That's
I'm sure
half
they
America.
have like
What the fuck?
a lot of money, but it's still hard for me to imagine like
it is
700 because
that's like
WWE
$36,000 a month.
Pays that much, especially like people coming in like they may pay that to like we talked about Jeff Hardy and and the Miz and
maybe not Miz. Maybe not. No, it's not.
So you think Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson gets that much, but not the Miz?
I'm not trying to say Miz doesn't. I don't know if Miz gets $750 a year. Miz seems like maybe a 300.
Regardless, like
he might make a good penny.
He probably makes a good amount because he has a TV show too.
I wouldn't
He has a
put
TV
anything
show
past
too.
the Miz.
I don't even make
the
what
Miz
Hardy
is
makes.
fine. I mean, we're talking legacy. legacy.
Oh, of course.
The Miz is fine, man.
Oh no,
I
he's
mean,
good. He's good to go.
At a certain point, there is a shelf life, and your value does start to drop. Like Chris
Sure.
Jericho has talked openly about his shelf value, and that's why he moved on to different places
Absolutely.
from the WWE because he
Absolutely.
didn't want to take a pay cut. But his pay cut was probably down to about $750.
Yeah, I was
He
gonna
prob-
say,
that, and he
brother,
can't
you're
accept-
making plenty.
He can't accept $750.
So he goes to AEW.
They make a
he's
lot of
getting
money.
Seven figures.
In Japan, like fucking Stan Hansen, man.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
He
Boy,
was- that
taking
was his
motherfuckers'
career.
heads off,
Yeah.
can't even see, and that motherfucker's getting paid, dude.
But no,
wrestling's
you are right.
wrestling's
Though.
crazy.
People like Hardy, Miz, and people like
AJ.
AJ. I wouldn't put Miz and AJ Hardy. I would just I don't know creative TV wise.
The Miz can
Longevity,
be slotted in
yes,
any
longevity,
position.
yes,
the thing
yes,
is,
yes,
that's
yes,
the thing.
yes.
Like what people are, what you.
You got to think about somebody like Roman, right? Like how much does Roman make a year? Probably about $1 million.
Well, a good bit, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Surely.
Hardy, probably right around that, maybe a little less.
Because he's been around for a long time,
but his
people
merchandise
still
sells.
love him.
His
People still
merchandise,
love him, right.
yes,
That's
is
a good
big
indicator.
thing too. Yep, of course. You got to think. I mean, it's like business here. It's like, who's making the money? I mean, you got to look at somebody like Rollins. Maybe look at somebody like
The
Lynch.
thing with
You know what I mean? When she was
Gallows,
around
she's
before
enjoying-
she got
she's making
knocked up.
Right.
and just Japan in general, like I'm not sure, like how are like the merchandise sales over in Japan? For
Here's
one.
the thing: they got a
For
lot of
Japanese
third-party
companies, like,
contracts
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here
yeah.
for merchandise sales.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff here is in like Hot Topic,
New Japan is in Hot
Spencer's,
Topic, yeah.
stuff like that's what I'm saying. Spencer's, Hot Topic, places like that. You can just go by.
And New Japan is working on getting a foothold into America.
Oh,
I mean,
of course,
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
Before
Before Corona, they were over here a little bit.
they were
Los Angeles,
all up in the West Coast, and they
Yep.
were working their way into the East
Yep.
Coast. But COVID,
which is
fucked everything up
fantastic.
for everybody.
You know what I mean? Because New
yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
So
All right, so we've been going for about two and a half hours. The Miz,
We can go all
Darnell
night with this
Coolbree said
shit.
the Miz makes about $1.2 million a year. I could see that.
I can see that too.
And then
I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. And then so before we go, does you guys got anything that you want to go before? Because I had a funny question on here about, and it was pertaining to Halloween that Amora put in, but it changes the subject a little bit. But I'd rather change the subject a little bit for like maybe a couple of minutes before we jump off.
Tonight is our loose night, and we did talk about that. So
only thing
We're
I
talking
want-
about wrestling a
I
lot,
just-
man.
let's go
I
everywhere.
do
That's
eventually
wrestling,
want to
let's
do
roll.
like specifically about Triple H, but we got kind of on. We got.
Yeah,
on
this
to
was not
another
Triple H
thing,
night.
yeah.
So this is Dave Meltzer night, honestly.
Dave Meltzer.
Tonight
fucking
is the great
unions
Dave
and
Meltzer
fucking wrestling
debate.
and
That's
shit.
the name of this episode.
I mean, I don't want to talk about Dave Meltzer and the.
No, we already did that. We're good. So Amora said, off subject question. Are you going to be a pickle for Halloween, Rick?
Well, Pickle Rick. I get it. No,
You got it
but
pretty quick, right?
Maybe I should. Maybe that'll solve my costume decision.
People would get it then.
But I do eventually want. I do want to do a Halloween episode of SVR at some point. And
Yeah, apparently we're all dressing up.
Oh my God! And Kazariah Miller right in at the ending. Let this man talk Triple H. Damn it!
I don't want to. You don't have to read it, but I love Bernie's comments.
Do it. Do it
Bernie,
whatever he's
no,
got.
I'm just
Yep.
saying Bernie's
Talking
comments are good.
Put Bernie's over. Put Bernie over, man. Bernie's our boy.
No, Bernie's great. I don't know where you left off though.
Damn, where are you getting these numbers from? Jeff Hardy makes $2 million and Roman makes $1.2 million. I gotta pee again, guys. I'm sorry. We're gonna
Go ahead,
continue.
go ahead,
Yeah,
piss.
y'all keep going.
Well, that's the thing. That's all debatable. I mean, it's like who knows really how much they make. Jeff Hardy makes $2 million and Roman makes 1.2 plus bonuses. I don't know if that's true. I could see that, but I mean, just because Roman has the main title doesn't mean he necessarily makes more. But I don't fucking know what their contracts are. I know Hardy's okay, obviously. He's one of the biggest goddamn
That does make sense though. Hardy's been around for a long time. He has your generation.
20-something years, over 20 years.
When we were talking about.
I mean, Roman was shitting in diapers when Hardy was doing swantons on Bubba Ray Dudley and Madison Square Garden at fucking Royal Rumble, which was a classic. Don't forget who the fuck the Hardys are, okay? I will not let nobody forget that. You know what I mean? Like, they're fucking goddamn wrestling. Today was Matt Hardy's birthday, so go to his fucking Instagram and Twitter and wish that son of a bitch a happy fucking birthday, because he's just as much a wrestling legend icon as anybody else.
Triple H?
Matt Hardy.
Oh,
And today was his birthday.
I wrestled him.
And yes, you did. And I had a couple of ribs played on me by him. I certainly will.
Apparently,
Because we were at
Paul,
the same
PJ,
show when
Jordane.
Paul Jordane. Actually, no, that wasn't the same show, but Paul Jordane did have a face-to-face with one Matt Hardy. And, you know, we need to put that match up. I think that's what we might need to do. It's on the Paul Jordane YouTube channel. So if you ever want to watch Paul Jordane versus Matt Hardy, you'll see Paul Jordane fucking, that's what I said, Paul Jordane fucking YouTube, you know what I mean? So go to Paul Jordane's, guys, please, work with me here. You know the son of a bitch's YouTube. Just go fucking look up Paul Jordane versus Matt Hardy. You'll see it. But yeah, today was his birthday. But no. I mean, I'm just I forgot the fucking point I was trying to make. I'm going to drink candle wax.
So a little bit of a segue from the wrestling topic we were talking about. Some of my the people have been following Spitting Games podcast and that kind of thing. I want to talk about something. We might do more of that on Tuesday, including like streaming and that kind of thing. I definitely want to try to. Tuesday right now is my plan that I have in my head. Who knows what will happen between now and Tuesday, but I want to do more of that. I also want to talk about, I'm sure a lot of people who do follow gaming know that Bethesda, who publishes Fallout and Elder Scrolls and Doom and all kinds of other stuff, was bought by Xbox. So I'm going to talk about that on Tuesday as well. So a little bit of a teaser for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And to answer Amora's question,
Is he peeing with the door open? Is that the question?
what happened? Is he peeing with the door open?
I didn't, but damn, my piss is powerful. If you guys heard that from in there.
He was 16 years old when Hardy started in WWE. Yes, he was 16. He had to lie about his age. Matt was 18. Is Matt okay? I heard that he missed. Yeah, so at their last pay-per-view at AEW or pay-per-view Dynamite, one of the two, Matt and Sammy Guevara, they were doing a spot where they were up on a like a cherry picker type deal, and Matt took a bump off that. It was supposed to go through the table. They were about a good 10, 12 feet in the air, and the table was on concrete, and Matt missed the table. He did get a concussion. Matt got fucked up, and Matt at his age should not be taking bumps like that, but you can't tell him not to, and I'm sure he meant to hit the table, obviously. So he is out of in-ring action for a few weeks just to make sure he's good to go, but Matt is okay. You can follow his Instagram and Twitter. You can see that he is okay, but that was answering Amora's question about Matt Hardy. Darnell, who wants to see Paul Jordane and Cool Breeze? Book it.
Book it, baby. Book it.
And Bernie, Matt and Jeff, MCW family, you goddamn right they are, before they even started with WWF. 100%. So, yes, Matt and Jeff
are. History at MCW.
They have a very long history at MCW. Bernie, love you,
and then,
bro.
Dushai's question.
Where is that at? I don't see that one.
When will Endgame and Sal Rinauro match be on YouTube? You're going to have to go to Continental Wrestling on YouTube. They're going to be releasing it, but I will post it and I'll update you guys whenever it's released on their website, because they have like
such a
20,000.
dirty match.
It's a very nasty,
dirty
disgusting
fucking
match.
match.
That piece of shit motherfucker
During
spit in my
coronavirus.
face during a pandemic, a goddamn pandemic. So you want to watch me get spit in my face, and you see what the fuck happens to him. This is my podcast. I can talk however I want to.
Yes, you can.
Oh yeah, you can't say bad words. Fuck him.
I tried to rush the ring, but I got tackled by a couple of security guards.
No, that's bullshit.
I thought it was fucked up. I saw him spit that water in your face, and I got hot. I really got hot.
I hope you support me like that, man, because I got pissed off, dude.
I support you all the time.
It's a fucking pandemic, you know?
I always support you.
Bernie said, now I got to pee, brother. Thanks. I didn't know you guys could hear me, that my walls are thin here. We have a cheap apartment. The walls are thin. What can you do, man? What can you
Bernie,
do?
how many brewskis are you having? I mean, let's be honest here. If you're watching us still, you have to be a little fucked up. So
you have to be.
You know what, Bernie? Bernie, come on, brother. You know, have a few more Steve Weisers if you haven't already.
All right, are we finishing up, guys? We did
I'm
our
done.
closing
care.
out. Everybody's good. All right, guys.
We could keep going.
We could keep going, but we've done about 2.5 hours. I think that everybody's good. Thank you guys for joining us again for Spitting Venom Radio, episode number 59, the Great Dave Meltzer debate. And we're going to see you guys a little bit later on. I'm going to be back on tomorrow for about an hour. I'm going to be doing Went for a Walk, Got Lost with the little brother Adam. And we haven't decided what exactly we're going to cover yet, so that's going to be a surprise. It's not going to be very long because I have a lot to do tomorrow as well. But I'm trying to do my best to stay consistent. And then Friday.
Well, before Friday, Thursday, tomorrow night.
Yep.
When you're driving back.
Yep.
Where you're
We'll
going.
do our deal. Yep. We'll do our deal.
I will have band practice. You will have your training, right? Correct? I don't know how
Yep.
much you want to say about that.
I'll be
but-
coming back. Yep. I'm
Okay.
going up there pretty often.
So we are, either way, we're going to have, you're probably going to go live on Instagram tomorrow night. Probably late. It'll probably be later
It's gonna
at
be late.
night.
It's
It'll
late
be
night
later
because
at night.
I drive.
Yeah.
I'm a road warrior, so you
Yeah.
guys can join Jimbo
So,
and I.
we'll
It'll
do a
probably be
little-
after he finishes his practice, but I'm going to be driving home from my practice. I drive home from pretty far. I go pretty far. I'll be coming back from Jersey. So yeah, I'm a road warrior. So
that'll
you
be on
guys join
Instagram.
us. That's going to be fun. That's going to be on Instagram at Endgame Jordane or
Jimmy_Sinndred.
and you guys see our information down there at the bottom.
And then
Thank you to
Friday,
Rick.
of course,
Friday, of course,
is
we
the
have
Friday night try.
the Friday night try.
The
Jordane,
legendary Friday
the
night
legend-
try.
The legendary Friday night try.
Who
everybody
knows what
loves.
could happen?
Yep.
Or what we're going to talk about or do or get
Or
into.
two of Jordane's big water jugs. Yeah, dude, I got big water jugs. You know, I drink a lot of water though. This is I drink like 3 of these a podcast.
Which is why he
4 of
pees all
them
the
is a
time.
jug, a gallon. I'm sorry.
Which is why he pees all the time.
Yep. By the way, you mentioned about the shred shed. You mentioned that something that in between we switched some other topic. Yeah, so the shred shed, we're going to be doing special episodes on the shred shed. Jimbo, myself, Adam, and probably Leland. I got permission to have Leland to come on the show as well.
Okay, very
so
good.
that'll be a little fun. That'll be a little.
my
That'll be a
God.
change. That'll be another.
I would love to have Leland on
That's
here.
going to be a completely
Oh
different.
my God, we
that's
have to
gonna-
kayfabe his age, but I would love to have
That's
him
going to
on
be a
here.
different. That's going to be a different type of show.
But hey, real quick, why not talk about the shred shed a little bit before we get off?
Yeah. So the
Do
shred.
you, do,
yeah,
do
man.
you want to?
So we could talk about it a little bit because we had Rick there working out
Why
with
not?
us. We could, so we can get a little bit of Rick's experience since he's been here, and we have
There's
our Friday
no format
show.
here. Who gives a shit?
But Friday, you guys need to join us on Friday because Friday we're going to be talking about all the renovations that are going on in the shred shed. We've been doing a lot of work. We did a lot of work this past weekend. We moved a lot of stuff. We have a lot more room in the shred shed, so so that we can have more room for activities. And our activities in the shred shed are going to be. You guys are going to be able to keep up with them because we're going to be doing about a weekly show. I have a GoPro, and we're going to be using our phones, and we're going to be. We want to whore our content out as much as we possibly can, and it seems like everybody enjoys having fun with our personalities, and we just want to. I think the main thing with the shred shed, because the Friday night try, we do a lot of like dietary talk, like with your diets and stuff, and with our workouts and things like that. I think that we need to have more footage of us in the shred shed other than just the stories that we do. We're going to do a show, and we're going to be doing probably once a week, like I said earlier, covering a lot of the different types of workouts that we do and some of the shit that we talk in there, because it's not necessarily it's not about going in there and busting your ass and killing yourself every fucking day. That gets repetitive, that gets boring. We try to make ourselves, and we try to make it an enjoyable experience, and we want you guys to join us. So some days are more intense than others. Some days I'll be in there squatting, and I'll be like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, kill that shit. But then on like a Friday, we're super chill. We're just getting our workout in. We're getting some good blood flow in. It depends on the day, really. And you got anything to add to that, Jimbo?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about that is that like someday, because you know how I am when I first get there. I'm always dragging. I don't want to live.
It takes a little bit to get your yeah.
But that's the thing about that is that like that fucking energy gets kicked up, Yeah, it's not state of the art. We don't have all the equipment in the fucking world.
We're
we
chopping
fucking
wood.
improvise.
Dude,
We
the
chop
boys are out
wood.
there doing supersets. We're doing bench press, and then we're going to
It
chop
is
some wood.
literally prison-style workouts. We have a lot more equipment than prisons, but it is literally prison-style workouts. And what I love about it is that we got Rick in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Rick can't make it consistently because of his job and stuff. But, like, Rick gets in there, and Rick works out with us. And I don't know if he wants to elaborate too much on that. Maybe we could save that for a different day. I don't know. But I love
I've done
it.
it
I love it.
2 or 3 times, and I mean, it's just, it's fun. I've always enjoyed working on it.
Just
kind of
working
thing.
out,
It's
right,
just,
right.
That's
But it's more
Yeah.
fun that we have our own community.
Yeah.
And instead of like going to a gym, because there's so many different types of thoughts that go into your head about going to a gym.
Right.
Because and that's another thing too. Whenever you go to a gym, you're in your head and you're like, God, everybody's looking at me.
Everybody's looking
and
at you,
everybody's
judging
thinking
you.
generally everybody's thinking the same thing. Why is everybody I feel like everybody's looking at me because I'm
Right.
blah blah blah, and then you're kind of looking around like, oh, this is weird.
But really, nobody's doing that.
Everybody's thinking the
They're
same thing.
all
They're all in
about
their own
themselves.
little world, and they want to try to. They're just
Wow.
everyone's trying to get better, and
They're
what
paying the same monthly membership you're paying.
exactly. What I love about it is we have so many different body types. We have so many different mentalities. We have so many different types of people coming through the shred shed, and you guys are going to see. We're gonna have guests. We're gonna have, and she's sometimes the puppy runs away. Yeah, well, sometimes the puppy. No dogs allowed in the shred shed. Everybody else is allowed in the shred shed, but no dogs.
Well, we have weights and people throw things around and stuff. You just don't want no animals getting hurt in the making of our incredible bodies. So
in the making of our
you know what I
incredible
mean?
body.
We don't
You
want
damn
animals
right, brother.
getting hurt.
You
but,
damn right.
You know. But that's the thing about that is that like it is we call it the shred shed because it's literally a fucking shed that we go into to get fucking shredded.
Right.
And the important part is putting that work in.
Right.
We have the equipment. Whatever we don't have, we improvise very well, and we put the work in.
Yep, exactly. So that's a lot of things that are going to be coming up. We're going to be working on the ghost store, the ghost hunting. We're going to do 8 episodes. We have to decide the locations that we're going to be going.
That's
to,
the thing
we're
with
gonna
that.
Be doing.
And to remind
We have a lot of
everybody,
shit we're going to be doing, man. We keep
do.
ourselves busy.
We do. We're very
man.
busy. But to remind everybody about that, we touched on this last episode. Again, we're in Maryland now. If it's like PA, like Southern PA,
Virginia,
stuff
West
like
Virginia,
that,
anything
Northern
in the area.
Virginia, we could do all that. That's fine. But we're in Maryland, so if you have any ideas or any places that you would like to see us investigate, send those. Either if it's put it in the chats, message us on Facebook, DM us on Instagram, whatever it is. If you have any ideas, but we do have eight episodes planned. So, but it's legitimate filming. That's the thing. Got to be a little patient with this stuff. I know
Adam's
a lot of people.
our producer. He's going to be out there. So we're going to put it together. We're going to put everything we're going to figure out the location. We have an editor set up. We have a cameraman set up. We have basically we need the locations. That's what we have now. We have everything
we can
planned
find
out.
our own locations, obviously, but
Yeah.
I would like for us
I would like
to
a
do
couple locations to
for
be
people that
from the guys.
would want us to. Yeah,
exactly. From
But
our
if you
fans.
don't send it to us, then we're just going to film whatever we feel that we need
and
to
then
film.
you'll have to send us something for season 2.
But we do have season 1,
In
8
the works.
episodes.
Yep.
We got a really badass name in the works for this ghost hunting episode. So
Show.
Show. So make sure you tune in. Keep listening. Which all you guys normally are our normal our regulars, but we do have a name for this. We got a bunch of shit coming for this. This ghost hunting episode. I keep saying episode. Show will be. I think one for the fucking books.
It's going to be fun.
And
man.
it's going to be
different.
fun.
It's not
It's
going to
be different
It's not going to
because
be your normal ghost hunting shit.
one of us on the team is not going to do your typical traditional ghost hunting format. We have a person on the team that is going to challenge and call out these ghosts.
Look, all I want to say is, if you're a fucking ghost,
Okay,
you're-
I was trying to.
No,
All right.
No.
Oh.
First of all, I just want to say, I'm going to put this out there in the ether. If you're a fucking ghost, bring it, you little pussy-ass bitch.
Well, there you go.
Bring it. Endgame Jordane will whoop your fucking ass. Oh, you're going to scare me? You're going to scare me? You're going to make me go crazy? Make me go crazy, you little pussy. Make me go crazy. Oh, what happened? Did you starve to death and then you die very badly? Oh, I feel really bad for you. No, I don't. Fuck off.
Fuck you, buddy.
Pussy-ass fucking ghost. Come and haunt me, please.
All right, so that's basically a little
I'm annoyed by the
preview.
ghost now. I'm at like 5'6".
Now he's about 5'6" right now. See what you guys did? So that's a little taste of our ghost hunting event. So if you want, I was trying to kind of keep it under wraps, but he went ahead and took it. So if you want to see Paul Jordane,
because you guys think that I'm going to be haunted by episode 6. I'm gonna be like petrified out of my mind.
your head's gonna be spinning, your blood, your fucking sink in your kitchen is gonna be spewing blood out of it. Your walls are gonna start bleeding. Here's the thing. So if you want to see Paul Jordane cuss out and challenge a bunch of ghosts, and us investigate it, then be sure to look out for these 8 episodes that are gonna be coming your way very soon. So that's some exciting shit we got. I think it's going to be great.
Yep.
I really, because here's the thing. We got 2 guys on the team that believe in ghosts and 2 guys on the team, me and Ron, that don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't believe in ghosts.
You don't? I thought you did.
No, I've told you a million times I don't
You
believe
don't
in
believe
ghosts.
in? No, I don't
he
think you
don't.
told
He
me a
just
million
loves the idea
times.
of ghosts.
Yeah.
I thought you did believe in ghosts. All right, so none of us believe in ghosts. Except for apparently Bob, and
I
who
don't
knows
even
how many
think
times
Bob
he's going to
fucking
get out
believes in
there.
ghosts. I
He
don't know,
probably ain't
bro.
even going to come in and fuck when he told me he did.
Everybody can talk shit, but we'll see.
Here's the thing.
We'll see.
We're going to record.
I'm an
If you
atheist,
could
like-
imagine us filming a ghost hunting series, that's what you're going to get. All right? And I think that's good content for you.
That's gonna be fun.
Okay?
Either way, it's gonna be fun.
it's going to be great.
It's gonna be fun.
What, Rick?
Do you have something?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Everybody good now?
All good.
All right. Love you guys.
Thank
You
you.
all stay chill, stay cool, and don't drink and drive. Love you.